Ba-blam, ba-blam.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wisdom Saves. The Chocolatiers are here to do the chaos and make adventuring. My name is Dom. I'm going to be the Dungeon Master for today. Why don't we go through some introductions for everyone before we hop back into the campaign, I should say, and get everyone caught back up. So let's go ahead and start things off with Brynjael.
My name is Alishiera. I play Brynjael, the Radiant, who is our paladin.
Excellent. Eminence.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I play Eminence. She is a tiefling warlock and not very good at much of anything, but I love her.
I'm sure we'll be able to find something that she's good at over the course of this next game. And her sister, Oriana.
Hi, I am Mel Umlefson, and I play Tiefling Cleric, Oriana, who is Eminence's older sister. And she's really good at being really bad. She's an awful person.
Like all big sisters should be.
As an actual big sister, I kind of resent that.
Is he wrong?
It's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but I resent it.
Okay. Aery.
Hello, I am CatRoulette or Jimmy, and I play Aery. He was a bisexual high elf sorcerer disaster boy.
I feel like we got to start adding more adjectives into that.
Yeah, I'm trying to come up with new ones as we go.
Yeah. I can tell it's getting like a little bit longer, so I feel like we can really accordion it out. Yeah.
I should really start just like writing them down, and every time we play out
add one more.
a new word. Yeah.
You'll notice we do have a galactic-sized hole for one of our players who is currently not here. But in the meanwhile, Natalie, why don't you go ahead and wrap us off for our introductions?
I'm Natalie. I hate stuff. I'm also BurrowsRed.
Yes, true to the barbarian mantra. Why many word when few word do trick?
Exactly.
Yes, so let us hop right back into what happened last session. The party awoke in the Golden Tankard before heading outside to discover that the Deep Forest had relocated into the city and was causing a lot of trouble just by the sheer volume of trees that now had surrounded Valater. The party deliberated for a little bit before trying to investigate what exactly was happening within the deep woods, so they decided to set out on a path into the forest itself to try to get to the bottom of what was going on. After traveling for about a day's worth, they came across some trees disappearing into the horizon and found that they had been almost destroyed by some sort of wood chipper-esque, Tasmanian devil-esque remains of these trees before they decided to continue on just a little bit further, getting them to less than a day's travel from the center of the deep wood, a large, almost like a natural recession, a bowl in the center of the topography filled with trees of various different colors. However, they decided not to continue traveling through the deep wood at night and instead set themselves up for camp. And it was during the third watch that Eridan's fireworks erupted as something triggered it. Something managed to step on top of his ward and absolutely detonate. And as the lights kind of faded down and the rest of the party woke up, they saw, sitting there in the smoke, an enormous cat with 4 large front legs, 2 powerful back legs, a long curling tail, and coming out of its shoulders, 2 barbed tentacles rising up as the cat snarls at the party. One more pads into the clearing that the party is standing by before a third flanks up behind it. They adopt aggressive positions. Let's go ahead and roll for initiative.
Adopt? As in adopt cats?
I can't believe we now have a cat.
Wow.
Stray cats. I am, by the way, absolutely certain that we only saw one at the end of last session, and I was a lot less.
You saw 3.
Yeah.
You did?
Oh, really?
Yeah, didn't
Oh,
they like?
I
They,
was expecting
go
one
from him.
too.
I was expecting one. Oh god.
Who's that?
Okay.
Are we waiting?
Feeling them
I
out,
like-
or are we waiting to like be
I
asked
like
order?
the
I
running
assumed we
man.
were going to do it in order. I was being
Here,
patient
yeah.
for a change.
Bryn, why
I
don't you
know.
kick us off?
8.
8. Eminence.
19.
19. Oriana.
0?
0's good. Zero's fine. Aery.
13.
13. And Natalie.
9.
Was that a 9 or a
Mhm.
mine?
That was a 9.
Okay.
9
Mine.
is mine roll.
I
Yeah.
did a drink and then forgot that I needed to talk.
Ah.
So if I remember correctly, it was Eridan and was it Eminence were keeping watch?
No, Emmy. I think it was Oriana because Emmy was with Bryn's watch.
Emmy and Bryn
Yes.
had their watch
So it was
and went back.
Yeah.
Oriana and Eridan. The fight kicks off. Eridan is startled. As you can see, he's going to start the initiative order. You see that he kind of scrambles back over towards where his bedroll is and quickly pulls out, I believe it was his daggers, and takes a dagger and just throws it at one of the cats as quickly as he can. And as you are watching, the dagger flies true through the air straight towards one of the cats, and then just passes harmlessly through it as you see a brief flicker, and then the one in the middle seems to disappear and then reappear to the left of it by just a small distance. The original location that it was seemingly some sort of projection or illusion. That said, Eridan is now sort of towards the back of the clearing, sort of quickly going through his things, looking for more daggers. Eminence, you are up next.
Well, there goes my plan.
Throwing daggers?
Throwing anything. I would like to. Let me see. I would like to summon lesser demons.
Just casually.
Okay,
Okay.
sure. What lesser demons are you looking at?
Let me seal with this spell. Excuse me. So
You just want to do it for funsies, I see. Okay, so you
roll
don't
on
get
the
to
following
choose.
table to determine what it is. I don't get to choose.
Oh boy.
I need
So
to roll a d6.
firstly, you've got your verbal and somatic components. Secondly, you need a material component. You need a vial of blood from a humanoid that has been killed within the past 24 hours. Do you have that?
We have not killed anyone in the past 24
No.
hours.
Sadly.
No.
And I'm
No,
afraid you don't have the
unfortunately not.
components.
Okay. I flail around and try to find my components and realize I don't have them and plan something else. There's not much I can do. I'll chuck an Eldritch Blast at one of the creatures and see if I hit it. Kind of not expecting to.
So there's the one in the middle that just went a little bit to the left, and there are two flanking it outside to the left and right. Which one do you want to go for?
I'll go for one of the ones flanking. Let's go with the right one. That's one that has not shown the ability to shift yet, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Do
Go ahead and take an attack roll with disadvantage.
Okay.
As this is happening, as you're doing this, the light is getting darker and darker to the point where the briefly lit up area from the fireworks is now starting to fade deeper and deeper into night. So if you don't have some form of dark vision, it's going to become almost impossible to see within the next round or so.
Is that why I'm rolling with disadvantage? Because I do have dark vision.
That is not. You are rolling for disadvantage because of other reasons.
Okay, that's an 11.
11. I'm afraid an 11 is not enough. You fire off this blast toward the one on the right, and just like the one in the middle, the blast just passes harmlessly through it, and then you see it kind of flicker for a moment and then reappear further behind, just a small ways, almost as if it was walking with some sort of projection of itself. Instead of actually showing itself, it seems to somehow bend the light so that it appears in a different location. That said, the cats are up. The beasts are up. One of them is going to leap forward towards you, Eminence, because you are right there. And you see that it pulls back one massive claw to take an attack against you. That is a 13 to hit.
So, sorry, I'm rolling, am I?
No. What is your AC?
Yeah, what is my AC? Back.
It's been a hot minute since we've done combat.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while.
It's 12.
12, so 13 is a hit.
Yeah.
That is... that is 9 points of damage as the claw sort of rakes across you, and then as the claw kind of swipes, you can see one of the tentacles, these sharp like burrs almost seem to stick out of the end of it, and then the tentacle whips out as well. That is a 21 to hit, which
Okay.
I think
Don't thank.
Okay.
so that is 11 points of damage from the tentacle.
That is unpleasant.
Another one is going to leap on one of the sleeping people. So it was Eridan and Oriana, the two of you were up. So I'll just roll a d4 for the rest of you. Aery.
Oh,
Yay!
As you're like struggling to get up out of your sleeping roll, this cat just leaps over trying to get on top of you. It gets a unnatural 20 to hit.
Yes, that may hit me.
Okay, and then for the second hit, that's an 18 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, it just jumps on you and just starts mauling and swiping back and forth.
Oh
over
no!
and
That's not how I want to wake up.
Let's see.
I think technically the fireworks probably woke you up, and so you're like, wait, what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, this is the last thing I wanted to happen.
He was just like,
Wrapped
oh,
in his face mask.
yeah,
Like,
what's really my
God.
day?
That is 31 points of... No, I'm sorry. 18, 23 plus 8. Yeah, 31 points of damage.
I guess I don't wake up then because I have 26 hit points.
Yeah, the rest of you watch as you're waking up, you hear Aery just and then just go quiet. And it's one of the most haunting sounds of this whole experience. The last one is going to get up and take an attack against Bryn. That is, I guess, 18 to hit.
That just hits.
Okay, and that is unnatural 20.
Yeah, so that hits.
Okay. That is 8 and 9 for 17 points of damage total.
Man,
as
Aery really copped it on the short end of the stick on that trade.
Yeah, of the 4 dice that I rolled, 3 of them were the highest number on the dice, and I was like,
Oh, you hate to see it.
yikes. Okay, so those are the Displacer Beasts. Aery, let's get a death save. Natalie, you're on deck.
Holy shit, that was a 3.
3, that's 1 failure.
Yeah.
There is a terrifying wet sound coming from Aery's bedroll as you watch as the head of the creature just takes a chomp out of Aery's shoulder. And the rest of you watch, Aery doesn't move when it happens. Like, not flinching away. Okay, Natalie, you're up. Bryn, you're on deck.
I'm gonna go with, okay, so My logic is that someone who's much better at healing things would be better at this than I would be. So instead I'll do the one thing that I do well, and I will first go into my rage.
Mm-hmm.
Second, I will move over to there's a Displacer Beast by Aery currently, isn't there?
Yes, it's like right on top of Aery.
Okay. I will recklessly attack the Displacer Beast twice.
Okay. Yeah, so that's going to be a flat roll for both of those rolls.
Let me get 2 dice so I can... Okay, that's not the worst. That will make it 16 and 22.
16 hits. So what ends up happening is for your second attack, I'll have you roll another d20.
Oh, yes, so that was the 22. I just rolled them both as
wait, sorry. Yeah. So for your second attack, go ahead and because you hit it with the first one, as you sort of like swing through, you see that once again it kind of like flickers and it appears to be standing next to Aery, but its head is still kind of like hunched down in the same position, and you manage to strike it in the neck. So the illusion just kind of flickers and you see it appear in its physical location right next to Aery. So for your second attack, you do not have disadvantage. Because you did reckless, you have advantage on your second attack. So you did already hit, but there's a chance you could get a 20.
I'm on you. I get you. I feel you. I understand. Me being too efficient, apparently. That's a 14, so the first one was better.
Yeah, they still hits either way. Let's go ahead and get damage for both of those hits.
Fuck. I mean, what? I had my d20s out. Didn't have my damage die out.
Just
Didn't
start
expect to hit.
rolling the d20s.
Ooh, that was a 12 on my d12. So that's the first one is a 12 plus 4 plus. Fuck, what's my rage modifier at the moment? I think it's +2. Yeah, +2. So
that's 18.
18. Thank you. And then second one is 11 plus 2, so 13.
Okay. You slice against it twice, and you watch as its teeth kind of like scrape against Aery's clavicle as it ends up getting pulled away. And Aery again does not respond, but as it kind of looks up at you, its eyes go wide, the tentacles sort of pull back to get ready to whip again, and you just bring it like a golf club right into the side of the neck, and it kind of stumbles back, the sheer volume of muscle keeping it standing as it kind of pulls itself free. It is still standing and looks ready to go another round.
And just while it turns to raise its thingies again, I'm just going to greet it with just like a really wide grinned smile.
Okay, yeah. You see that its eyes kind of glint in the remaining moonlight. Bryn, you are up. Ori, you're on deck.
Well, I'm assuming Bryn needs to use half her movement to stand up.
Yeah.
She's in bed. Aery would be close though, wouldn't he? Because we're all sleeping like in the same vicinity, kind of thing.
Yeah. I would say you can definitely get to Aery with the remainder of your movement.
Okay, yeah. So Bryn will like roll out of bed, like grab her halberd, and then run straight to Aery.
Sure.
I'm assuming there's an attack of opportunity though.
There is going to be, yes. One of the creatures is right next to you. That is a 16 to hit.
Does not hit.
The claw just kind of scrapes against the back of Bryn's armor.
I'm envisioning like, because she's got a cape, it's like how they'd use silk armor to stop arrows, where it's just like the folds of fabric just like sucked in.
Yeah. Just kind of like ripple.
Fashion has won the day.
There's now like a cool gouge in your cape.
And second level cure wounds on Aery.
Okay.
D8. It's not D8. God, I'm so flustered. My boy! Look how they mold my boy! So 5. 14 points back
Aery,
to
you get 14 points
Aery.
again. You watch like the wound on the neck and clavicle just kind of knit itself back up magically, but the clothing is still ripped and tattered. But you do come back to consciousness, Aery.
And then she can't really do anything else, so she's gonna stand her ground like in front of Aery. I'm assuming like she'll probably be like back to back with Natalie, because Natalie's squaring off with the other one, and Bryn will be like facing towards the one that had attacked her, like on both sides of Aery to kind of try and protect our boy.
Absolutely, yeah. You guys are able to set up sort of like a vanguard with Aery behind you, basically. Okay, Ori, you are up, and Eminence, you are on deck.
So there is one of these creepy cats near Aery and one of them near Eminence.
Yes, the third one it kind of like just pounced on another random person and it jumped on Bryn, so it's not really near anyone right now, but it's currently looking at Bryn and Natalie, who have their back to it as they're trying to keep the other one from jumping back on Aery.
Oh, excellent.
Oh no, Bryn was facing the other one, like back to back with Natalie, so that they were facing both.
Oh, I misunderstood. Okay,
like,
yeah. Okay. In that case, yeah, then you could see that the cats are like starting to slowly circle around like predatory, looking for an opening.
Okay, I'm going to go after two of them in different ways. I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon next to the one that is approaching Bryn. But I don't think I can do an attack until next time.
Range on Spiritual Weapon?
It's 60-foot cast, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mean like on yourself. I mean for anything.
Oh, it's melee.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So it's got to be within 5 feet for a spiritual weapon hit.
Okay.
So
and
I'm going to.
What is your spiritual weapon that appears?
It's a big snake, so it would appear kind of like a swirling mass, and it grows up, and it's got 2 heads, like. Like a snake, but with 2 heads, coiling up kind of like a cobra, and it's got 2 heads, and it will. I've got to double check.
As a bonus action, you can move the weapon and attack.
Yes.
When you cast a spell, you can make a melee spell attack against a creature within 5 feet of the weapon, so you can put it next to one. Yeah.
I would like to use that to attack the kitty cat that it's next to.
Sure.
But that would be. Oh, hello.
What's going on?
Bubble tea delivery.
Yeah.
It's disadvantage on this as well.
It is with disadvantage on this one. Yes.
Okay. Ooh, shit. Well, that one rolled off the table onto my lap, and it was a 20. But it doesn't count. Okay, so that is. It was a 4 the second time. That is a 16 to hit.
With disadvantage?
With the disadvantage. The other one. Oh no, shit! I added it to the wrong one. No. That's a 9. 5.
9. I'm afraid 9 does not hit. The snake, you see the 2 heads just quickly pounce forward, and their jaws just close on air. And you watch as the image kind of flickers, and the cat is just right next to the position.
Yeah. And I would like to use my movement to get to where Emmy and her cat friend are. And I would like to try and touch it, because unfortunately it's a touch spell. Cast Inflict Wounds on that one.
Sure. So again, that's going to be an attack with disadvantage.
Yeah, that worked out really well to me the first time.
So that's your spell attack. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's good. That one actually is an 11 plus 5. The other one was a 14.
Okay.
So that's a 16 to hit.
16 does hit. So this time, conscientious of like the flickering illusions that these displacer beasts are predicting, instead of trying to put your hand on where it visibly seems to be, you put your hand through it. And there's this weird moment where your hand kind of like sinks into where its shoulder would be and descends about another half a foot or so before it comes into solid with rough black fur, and the illusion flickers before it appears looking at you, the eyes kind of turned up angrily as some of Eminence's blood continues to drip off of its fang and tentacles.
I had meant to cast it at 2nd level, but I didn't say it, so I'll just do it at 1st level.
Okay.
That's 3d10.
And this is inflict wounds?
Yes, inflict wounds.
Yeah, okay.
So that is not excellent. It's 9. What?
Oh, 9 damage.
I'm very upset.
You hate to see it. You watch as like there's this brief like purple flash that appears out of your palm, and almost immediately these wounds just split open across the body of this creature, and it kind of hisses at you. As you can see, it starts bleeding from multiple locations, but it is still standing and looking fairly terrifying. Anything else?
No.
Okay, Eminence, you are up. Oh, I think you're muted.
Thanks. I'd like to target the creature that Oriana is currently attacking.
Absolutely.
And...
I'd say you can flank around it to get advantage if you're looking for a melee attack or a spell attack.
Yes, awesome. Then I will move to flank it and cast blindness on it.
Okay. Blindness, is that a wisdom save?
Constitution.
Constitution save. Okay. That is an 18.
That does not hit. Okay. Shit. I'm trying to help my sister. I'm trying. Do my best. I don't think there's much else I can do. I guess I would like to... Can I draw my dagger and sort of just like ready that in case it comes at me?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm afraid you won't be able to use it because you used your action to cast a spell, but as a free action, you could just panic, pull out the dagger. Yeah. Okay, the Displacer Beasts are up. The one that is currently between you, Eminence, and Ori, Oriana, you just came up and inflicted a lot of damage to it. So you watch as it kind of like pulls away from your hand, and there's a brief moment where it kind of flickers, and you can see almost like a mirror image. One of them goes left and the other one goes right, and then the one on the left just pops and disappears. So now you're not quite sure which one is real, which one is which. That said, it is going to take 2 attacks against you. That's a natural 1 and a natural 20. I'm not even kidding.
Whoa, the duality of a dice roll.
Yeah, exactly. The duality of man. Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
Well, at least only one of them was a nat 20.
Yeah. That is 16 points of damage from the nat 20. So as you're watching the creature, there's this awkward moment where it does like this like almost pathetic swipe with its claws, and you easily lean back out of the way, and then you just feel like these barbs in your neck, and the tentacle that you didn't see just a moment ago just tears across the side of your neck, pulling this deep gouge of flesh away, and you quickly have to staunch and try to cover the wound. Yeah, that's that one. The Displacer Beast that is currently facing Natalie, you are directly in between it and Aery. It is going to snarl and try to get past you. So it just leaps straight up into the air, and as it leaps, you see the same thing where there's like a brief mirror image. It seems to split into 2, and then one of them flickers and disappears. It's going to leap through the air and take 2 attacks. That is 9 and 17.
17 hits.
Okay. That is a total of... So this is actually important. This is 7 points of bludgeoning and 5 points of piercing.
Okay. Or both halved.
Yes. So that is 3 and 2 for 5 points of damage total. I
was trying to do the math, so I'm like,
it rounds down for each of the damage types, which is good for you. Yeah, so it takes a swipe against you. Once again, you're able to quickly get out of the way of the claw, but those tentacles are just so fast with how they whip around. The other one is, it's going to go for you, Bryn. It sees you taking a defensive position. Actually, that's a good question. Hold on, let me... Yeah, it did pounce on you just a moment ago. So it's going to try to continue chasing after you. It gets a 13 to hit and a 10 to hit.
Does neither hit, and with Polar Master, Bryn gets to take an opportunity attack as soon as something enters her melee range.
Okay, yeah. And this uses your reaction?
Yes.
Cool. You see that it comes forward and it's like it's doing that like catwalk where it's like super super low to the ground and the shoulders are just rolling with just mounds of muscle. And then just before it pounces, you can see that it kind of stops and does the wiggle. And as it does the wiggle, it kind of shimmers into two, and then one of them vanishes and disappears before it leaps out towards you. So go ahead and take an attack with disadvantage.
One.
That was a 1.
Yeah, not one.
Oh, big sad. You just strike with your polearm and you just straight miss. It's going through the air for you, but you were unable to react in time. The cat pounce was a little too quick.
Expected, but still disappointing.
Yes. Aery, you are up. Natalie, you're on deck.
Ooh. Wait, you're muted. Muted.
What?
Sorry, I thought I already unmuted myself. Yeah, Aery waking up from just being mauled half to death by an enormous cat will just misty step away. Let me...
Okay, is there a specific place that you
Get
want to
the
go,
fuck out
or are
of
you
there.
just going for like distance?
So you can teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space. Can I teleport up into the tree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would like to not be near these cats.
So
yeah,
you just pop up and then kind of have to catch yourself on the branch for balance, and you just hear me as these
The
little birds
birds.
start chirping at the commotion of something landing next to them.
cute.
Shut up, you're gonna
Um,
reveal my location, but
Yeah, shut up.
It's Dead by Daylight. Get out of
The
here.
crows. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The crows in Dead by Daylight. But yes, that's pretty much it. There's not really anything else I can do, but also just like taking that time to
Okay.
figure out what is going on.
Yeah. Okay, so Natalie, you're up. Bryn, you're on deck.
Okay, so let me just keep track of where we're at right now. There is still the one that is engaged with me, correct?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I would like to cast Great Axe twice, recklessly.
Absolutely. So go ahead and just roll the first attack as a straight roll.
Give me a second. I will not jump ahead this time.
Yep.
That's a 2, so that makes it a 9.
Yeah, I'm afraid a 9 misses, so just a straight roll for the second attack.
Very disappointing.
Well, maybe roll better?
But it's a straight one
The
for the second one
sass.
because I didn't hit the first one, right? Yeah?
Yes.
Cool.
So it's technically at disadvantage, but you have advantage, so it's 1.
15 plus 7, so 22.
22. Look, I just need to tell you to roll better than you do it. Go ahead and roll damage.
My dice listen to you, they don't listen to me.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not the best. That's 5 plus 4 plus 2, so 11?
Yep, that's correct.
I love having
Um,
someone who does maths. I say numbers and he's just like, yeah.
You take your great axe and once again cleave up into the side of it, up to the point where you kind of like lift it a little bit off the ground and then drop it back down, and it pulls free. It is looking bloodied. Anything else? Natalie?
I will cry because I don't really have a bonus action. So
Okay. Yeah, so that one, the same sort of thing happens. Like you swipe at its physical body and it seems to flicker and disappear, but you just follow through with the swing and catch it on the back end. Okay, Natalie, Bryn, you are up. Oriana, you are on deck.
Bryn is gonna use Bless, seeing like that these things are like really tricksy to hit. She's gonna bless herself, Natalie, and Oriana. So everyone gets a D4 on their attack rolls, and whatever I said gets a D4 on their attack rolls and on a saving throw.
Sure. So once again, that was Bryn, Natalie, and was it Oriana?
Yes, because Aery
Okay.
has her spiritual weapon up as well. So
Gotcha.
makes sense.
Great. Anything else?
She's also going to cry because she doesn't really have bonus action, so she'll just weep openly as a free action.
Yeah. There's like a wet drop of that comes down out of the tree. Okay. Oriana, you're up. Eminence, you're on deck.
Sorry, I was pressing the wrong key for unmute. The first thing I am going to do is cast Shield of Faith as a bonus action on Emmy to make her slightly less squishy.
So, Emmy, you get a +2 to your AC.
That is, yeah, +2.
That's actually a good point. Shield of Faith? Is that concentration?
Yeah, I was just checking Spiritual Weapon to see if that is concentration.
They're both concentration, I'm pretty sure. Because Shield of Faith definitely is.
Shield of Faith definitely is, but it doesn't say on D&D Beyond that Spiritual Weapon.
Oh, wait, no, I don't think...
I don't think spiritual weapon is you just summon it and you can move it as a bonus.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm thinking magical weapon. Magic weapon is concentration.
Yes. Yeah, I was having exactly the same thought. I'm like, oh, I've just done a thing and now I have to think. Which is hard. Thinking is hard. That's my bonus action. Which, can I be a little tricksy and use 2 bonus actions instead of a bonus action and an action so I can use my spiritual weapon?
Sorry, one more time?
Can I use... Because using hitting someone with my spiritual weapon or like using that as an attack is a bonus action. I've just used my bonus action. Instead of using an action, can I pretty please use another bonus action? Or would I just have to leave the snake there?
You can use your action to do a bonus action.
Okay, cool. I would like to, if that cat is there or within 20 of where he was
your snake just slithers up behind it.
Yeah.
So the attack roll is with disadvantage, but you do get to add a d4 to both.
Okay, that's really good. That's a 19 and a 13. So the 13 is +5, so it's a 18 to hit. And that is... What damage does it do? I can't remember. D8. Which is... I have one. I have 2 hits. An 8! Plus my spellcasting, which is another go away you.
Spellcasting modifier +2 for 10 total damage.
How dare that do more damage than my inflict wounds?
That's true. The snake just slithers up, then kind of bites through it again. Image flicker for it. The snake biting onto it as it pulls free. But it still is standing and looking rather aggressive.
Is double roboting out for anyone else?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I assumed it was just me because I was on my phone.
Everyone was looking real concentrated for a second there.
Yeah, we really lost you, but you seem to be back.
Okay. Yeah, so the snake kind of like slithers up and just bites and lets go. Excellent. Anything else? Anything else, Oriana?
If I'm not currently right next to Eminence, I'd like to move around to be closer. Oh no, wait, she's flanking the cat.
Yeah.
Never mind.
She's
No, that was on purpose. No.
The two of you are just gonna like circle around the cat.
Yeah. Just ring a ring of roses.
Yeah. Okay, Eminence, you are up, and the cats are next.
Okay, I would like to try to move into the cat's sort of personal space. If I can get within 5
Give it some
feet
screeches.
of it, yeah, I'd like to kind of crouch down and sort of maybe I'll do like a roll, combat roll into the cat because I'm such a badass fighter and I carry this team. And cast Sword Burst.
Sword Burst. Okay. Is that a spell attack?
Oh shit. Okay, sorry. I think my internet Yes, it is. Sorry, my internet might be cutting out. So if I just don't react to you, don't assume I'm being rude. Yes, so it needs to make a dex save.
Save. Do you have? Oh, right. Did it again. That is unnatural 20.
You know, one day I'm actually going to hit something and y'all are going to be shocked.
Yeah.
Then you'll really be picking up the team.
So I basically just kind of combat rolled. I cast swords all around me and none of them hit the cat. I'm just in like a little ball of swords and the cat's kind of like this close to me but not getting hit.
The tail kind of flicks and nicks one of the swords and kind of turns around and hisses, noticing now. Yeah. Anything else?
I roll away.
Combat roll backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the cats are up next. Do you disengage from the cat? Does it get an attack of opportunity? Do you get that far away, or do you still stay close?
Good question. Yeah, I'm going to try to disengage from it.
Cool. One of the tentacles is going to try to take an opportunity attack against you. That is a 24 to hit, I'm afraid.
Can I use my spirit shield on that when she takes the damage? I don't think I just have to announce it before you've taken damage. I don't really know.
Let's check the character sheet. Is this under features?
Yep. It is Spirit Shield right down the bottom there. If you're raging and another creature you can see within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to reduce that damage by 2d6. But obviously it uses my reaction, so I can't do an opportunity attack.
Yeah, that's totally fine. That's cool. What? Yeah. And you could just keep doing that?
As a reaction, but yes.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's so sick. Absolutely, yeah. So it is going to try and do damage. That is 12 points of damage, which you get to reduce by 2d6.
Oh, that's 2 5s. That's 10.
Oh. 10. Okay. So describe to me what happens as this. You see that Eminence is like trying to back away from the creature, but one of the tentacles just like whips out. What happens?
I would like to imagine that it's kind of like the ethereal form of I would imagine maybe. They would be rotating between like human, half-orc, or orcish ancestors, just donned in like heavy armor that's like overly ornate and beautiful and wonderful. They come in this ethereal form and just hold a shield directly in front of the ally. And they're just kind of like, I would imagine that she just kind of like holds her hand out and they just like form from this like wispy business from her hand. And then, hold the shield out and just stop it. In the
Absolutely.
air.
So as you're kind of backing away, Emmy, you realize one of the tentacles is whipping away and you can't exactly see it in time. And then all of a sudden, there's just this huge muscular figure of a half-orc with strangely reddish hair. Then you only get a brief glimpse for the moment of it with its arm up and this big wooden shield. And it almost seems to like soak or slow down the attack. It still kind of punctures through, and as it does, it seems to just as quickly re-evaporate into mist and disappear almost immediately. But it did slow down the tentacle, and it does only do 2 points of damage to you as it does strike against you. That said, it is now going to try to turn and chase after you for its action. So it is going to turn around and pursue you, Eminence. I believe that means it will disengage with you, Oriana, so you can get an opportunity attack if you like.
Can I first try to hit it with Hellish Rebuke as a reaction?
Absolutely, yeah. Oh my gosh, we're just going to keep chaining reactions here.
Let's see what I need to do. Yeah, okay. And in that moment that I see the misty figure, I like to imagine, because I'm rolling, I see it feet first and I whisper, that? And then look up and realize that it is an orcish figure and just kind of like glance at Natalie like, what the fuck?
And you can see Natalie is like leaning over with her hand out for just a moment.
Yeah. And as I take the hit, I turn around and point at the cat and be like, oi!
I love that.
As we all know, the classic battle cry. Oi!
And it needs to make another dex saving throw.
Dex save. These guys are rolling well. 19.
Yeah, I say oi, and nothing happens.
Oi! There's a brief spark of fire, and the cat just ducks its head under it as it quickly does that cat prowl towards you. Oriana, opportunity attack as it disengages from you.
Yes, I have Warcaster, so I can use a spell as my reaction attack.
Okay. Yeah.
I would like to. I'm so tempted. I really, really want to go inflict wounds and try and grab one of its tails.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You could try. Do you want to?
Yeah, I am. It's probably not going to hit because disadvantage.
So this is a straight roll.
It's a straight roll.
Disadvantage hasn't come back yet.
That's a 19. So 19 plus 5.
5 definitely hits. Let's get damage.
That is going to be. I'm still just casting this at the lower one rather than higher. That's so much better. It's a 9, a 5, and a 2, so that's
16 points of damage.
Yay! 9 on the last one.
Nice. As it's kind of getting away, you quickly manage to reach out and grab its tail and cast inflict wounds. And it's not that the tail comes off or anything like that, but you just watch as the normally lithe tail just suddenly seems to lock up and kink as if the bones in the tail are being ground into unnatural positions, and almost immediately it lets out this yelp of pain as it kind of turns around to examine before wrenching the tail free. It still will pursue after Eminence, however, and will take 2 attacks. That is a 24 to hit and a 15 to hit.
Okay, so it does hit me twice.
Okay. That is 10 points of damage for the first one, and that's okay. 7 points of damage for the second one.
That is exactly my HP. I'm down.
Oh no!
Before she's down, Hellish Rebuke still inflicts half damage. Did you inflict half damage on the succeeded?
She did not. So in this particular case, the half damage, you kind of cast the spark, but the cat kind of dodges around it. You notice almost as if the tentacles seem to have affected the magic somehow, such that it didn't take half damage on a success.
Cool. Everything goes black.
Yeah. It leaps and pounces and just immediately just bites into Oriana. And for the second time tonight, you hear that awkward moment onto Eminence, that awkward moment of screaming and noises, and then just silence as it continues to bite in. That's... as it is biting in, however, the rest of you will also notice that it flickers out into 2, and then one of them disappears. Okay, the other ones, one of them will take 2 attacks against Natalie, getting a 10 and a natural 20.
Don't think hits.
Yeah, well,
Just
natural
saying.
20. Yep. So I do need to roll this the correct way. That is 9 points of bludgeoning damage, and 6 points of piercing. So that ends
7?
up coming down to 9 is 4, 6 is 3. So 7 points of total damage.
Cool.
Yep. As there's sort of that sound of pain, the one in front of you, Bryn, you see it kind of glances its head back and now sees what you think it gauges to be an easier target. So you watch as it flickers, and then one of them vanishes, and then it starts to try to prowl away from you, heading towards Oriana, who's currently facing the one on top of Eminence. So you do get an opportunity attack.
Yeah, she would definitely take it.
Okay.
So that is how much I had for this? 21.
21.
Okay.
21 hits. 21's a lot. Wow. Let's get damage.
Because it's the bless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put a 4 on her bless. And that is 10. So that is 14 points of damage. She rolled a 10 on her D10.
Okay, yeah. I believe this one has not been wounded yet.
I don't think
So as you just get the pole arm, you manage to get just a good gouge into the hind leg, but it just quickly pulls its leg free as it seems to be trying to pounce on Oriana. It is going to take 2 attacks against you, Oriana. That is a 12 and a 14 to hit.
Neither of those hit.
Hey, you hear it coming up behind you. You're able to quickly get yourself into a defensive position in time and protect yourself from the strikes of this creature. Yeah, that is that one. Yes, that brings us to Aery. Natalie, you're on deck.
Okay. From up in the tree, I would like to cast. Oh wait. Yes, I would like to summon a lightning bolt from the sky to attack the one that tried to fucking maul me to death.
Okay, so the one that tried to maul you, that's the one that Natalie is fighting, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Is that a dex save to get away from the lightning bolt?
Yes, dexterity saving throw.
In a direction you choose. Yeah, I would say that you're able to get the creature clearly and not Natalie. Just because it specifically says each creature in the line. So I would say that from your high up elevation, you're able to position it in a way.
Yeah, because I'm like above, I'm not like shooting it in like outwards in a line. I would be shooting it like down.
Yeah, okay. And it was a dex save, was it?
Yes.
Sure. Oh god, it's going around. That is a 4.
Ooh.
Well, that's a fail.
What a shame.
So that's 8d6
Oh,
lightning damage.
Oh, yeah.
2,
That's rough.
3,
Bringing out the
4,
big
yeah.
spells. I like it.
5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I think that's all. I'll just roll 2 of them. Okay. Okay. A 1, a 2, a 2, a 3, a 5, a 6. Can someone add those up because I have to re-roll 2 of them? Okay.
That's 19.
Another 1 and a 3.
23 points of damage.
Yeah.
However, as the lightning bolt roars through the air, you could see one of the tentacles kind of like almost reflexively twitches. The creature's ears go up and almost immediately it tries to pull itself out of the way. It doesn't succeed fully. However, it does only take half damage from the strike.
Oh.
Okay. So they have like an immunity to magic, I'm guessing.
And you see that it kind of like pulls itself away. So it was 23 points, was it?
23.
I think that's what you said.
23.
Yeah.
19 plus 4 is 23. Yeah. So that's half. It is now like charred and singed across its right shoulder where it wasn't able to get its arm out of the way. One of the arms is like just kind of limp from the gouge that Natalie put into it a moment ago, but its other 5 limbs are just prowling forward as it seems to be ready for another attack. Anything else you want to do, Aery?
No, I'm just gonna hang out in the tree.
Okay, Natalie, you're up. Bryn, you're on deck.
Okay, so I'm currently engaged with one. One is currently engaged with Oriana, and the other is by Eminence. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. How far away is the one by Eminence?
You could probably get to it. However, you would give an opportunity attack to the one that is next to you. Ah, the soft, soothing sounds of boba.
Sorry.
I'm always worried that I have my
It's
mic
marking.
unmuted when I'm like. Anyway.
Yeah, I just realized. Oh.
I think in the same vein as what Natalie did for Aery, she's going to do the same thing for Eminence. And instead of running over to heal, not really her jam, she's going to run over and instead try to attack the thing that is directly in front of her.
Okay.
So I'll invoke the opportunity attack, but head on over.
Okay. That is
Try me, bitch.
14 to hit.
Oh, that's exactly my armor class.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so that is 10 points of bludgeoning and 2 points of piercing.
So
So that's 5 and 1 is 6. Yep.
Love not even taking that much damage this fight. It's great.
Oh.
I'm rubbing it in now. I'm gonna die.
They
Anyway.
also shoot lightning. Ah!
I would also just like to remind everyone that before we actually started the session, we're like, easy, we're going to kick this cat's ass, like nothing.
No.
2 of us have already gone down.
From my perspective, we're fine. However,
Yeah, it's so easy. But
I'm pretty sure it was you and I who said that as well.
yes, of
Yeah.
course it was.
Because
We
it
are
was Natalie
huge
and
idiots.
it was Natalie and Brynjael like, no. Like,
Whatever that-
God's friend to combat is the squish is like, nah.
Nah,
Now that you
easy.
pointed that out, I'm a little worried about me because I was like, oh, yeah, like we ate one of those a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Oh no.
By
Me
something
next.
that I once ate, I'm going to be so angry.
now
Yeah.
this is another thing that I actually didn't know existed because I'm still getting used to D&D Beyond. It is Ancestral Protectors if you want to look it up, Dom.
Sure.
While raging, the first creature you hit with an attack on your turn has disadvantage on any attack that isn't against you. And when the target hits a creature other than you, that creature has resistance to the damage dealt by the attack. So I'm hoping to hit the one by Eminence to then pass resistance onto her if it attacks her, or give it disadvantage to it if it attacks her anyway.
Sure. The
makes
first
sense.
creature you hit with an attack on your turn becomes a target of warriors, which hinders attacks until the start of your next turn. Target has to that isn't against you. And when the target hits a creature other than you, that creature has resistance.
So basically it's like, look at me.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
so
hey.
that's totally fine. Let's see if you can hit it first.
That's very true.
Yep.
The first creature you
So,
hit.
Yeah.
So I would like to do reckless. So straight roll for the first one, right?
Mm-hmm. But you do have bless, so you get a D4.
That's a natural 20.
Hey, with
That's very
as a straight roll.
That's a natural 20
Yeah.
with a straight roll. It's very nice.
That's awesome.
I like that a lot.
That was our 60th critical success on the
Nice.
channel.
Hey. Okay.
Do you want me to roll damage first, or do you want me to do the second
Sure.
attack?
Well, actually, let's see the second attack. So the second attack will be 2 dice.
2 dice.
So, or no, wait.
2 dice, 1 modifier, right?
Advantage, disadvantage. Advantage goes away. Yes. So you have 2 dice.
Mhm.
So this attack is with advantage.
Wait, do you want me to do damage first, or do you want me to do the second attack?
Let's do the second attack, and we'll roll
Okay.
the damage as one big pool.
Yeah, it's 14.
So this second attack has advantage.
Advantage. Fucking
Because
I
you did hit it
listen.
with the first.
24. That's much better.
Yeah, 24 also hits. Let's get damage for a
Okay.
crit and a regular attack.
That's 3 d12s. Don't fail me now. It's not the worst. 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 11. So
20.
20. Nice.
9 plus
Then-
11 is 20.
Plus feckin' 8 plus 4.
28. 32.
32.
Nice. You run up to this creature as it's like, it pulls its head back, and there's a brief moment where you see that predatory look of like, oh man, what am I going to bite next? And you just raise your axe and lumberjack chop right on the top, and you get it like right in the back, and you hear a cracking sound as one of its back legs just goes limp almost immediately, and it staggers out of the way and starts to whine a little bit as it pulls itself off of Emmy's corpse. As you do this, behind you, to the left and right, you feel the presence of two spiritual warriors, and you don't even need to look to recognize them. The rest of you suddenly see almost like these shining, shadowy, orcish figures appear. To your left, you see a human, a male, with what looks to be just like a simple buckler shield and just this raw, jagged blade. And to the right, you actually see a human woman. This one sort of like with long hair tied in a braided bun in the back, and she has like this rough leathers on, and she just has like this massive great club that she's currently holding forward. And you see the cat looks at you, Natalie, and then just the eyes kind of flicker to the two spiritual warriors for a moment, seemingly confused.
Neat. I love that. I hate
anything
that.
else you want to do?
I didn't kill it immediately because I don't have a bonus action.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay. So Bryn, you're up, or you're on deck.
So how many are left standing, and what are they looking like?
All three of them are still standing.
Yeah,
one of them you just barely managed to slice. The other two look pretty heavily wounded.
Okay.
That's the one that was by Natalie that was struck by a lightning bolt. The other one is currently right next to Eminence and where Natalie ended up going. And that one took a lot of spells from Eminence and Oriana.
All right. I'm not in melee range with the one that Natalie had been engaged with, am I? Because that was...
You were not. It is just 5 feet away.
All right. She's going to run towards Emmy then. And is going to dump 15 points of lay on hands. Just not going to even risk it with a bad roll. To get 15 points of health.
Okay, and is that your action to lay on hands?
Yes, lay on hands is an action, and then she will just, similar to before, kind of back to back with Natalie. So she's now like facing the one that she ran from, while Natalie is facing the other one.
Yeah, so there's definitely a path that you could sort of like run around to get away from the one that's fighting Eminence. That's fighting Aery, so that you can get to Eminence without invoking opportunity attack. So you're pretty easily able to sort of flank around the side and drop down for a quick heal, and quickly whirl around to protect from the other one. Great. Oriana, you are up. Eminence, you're on deck.
Okay. The first thing I will do is move my spiritual weapon to whichever is closest to it at the moment, because I feel like people have moved around a lot.
Yeah. So one of the cats is right next to you. It's disengaged from Bryn, and it saw you alone and decided that you might be an easier target. So it tried to come up behind you and was proven wrong.
So that is... You have to attack him, don't I? Yes, I actually do. Okay. Are you going to... is that with disadvantage still? Because it would have reset?
Against this one... no. As it moved, it got hit by Bryn.
Okay, excellent. That's still... It's not great.
Plus 4. Well, no, plus a d4.
Oh, plus a d4. Okay, that's good, because that wasn't good. Oh, that's 4. Okay, so it's 14 plus 5, so it's 19.
19 hits.
And it does 1d8 plus 2, and I've thrown it off the desk.
Yeet.
That's a 2, so it's 4.
4 points of damage. Okay.
Yep. And then if it is still like on me, I'm going to... Goodbye, dog. Cast Inflict Wounds on it, this time at 2nd level.
Okay, yeah, it's still right there next to you. So it makes a save, I think? Or no, you rolled a hit.
No, it's an attack.
Okay, yeah, so this is a straight roll.
I can't maths, but 17 plus 5 is a lot.
22 hits.
Okay, and at 2nd level, I think it's 4... That's 3rd level that I'm looking at. Yeah, 4d10 at 2nd level. Sorry.
Oof.
As long as it's not like 2s. Okay, that's a 6 and a 5, and then I have 2 again. So that's 11 plus a 7 and a 2.
18, 20.
Yay. That's exciting.
Nice. 20 points of damage. The creature kind of like took these attacks against you, and you were able to defend yourself, so it kind of pulls back for a moment, reassessing the situation, and you're just able to lean forward and just like pat it right on top of the head, and it seems kind of stunned by the motion, and almost
Really
immediately the
aggressive
necrotic
move.
energy just pulses out through it, and you watch these wounds just split all across its body as it lets out this low guttural hiss. Yes, so anything else?
I wish I had something like Vicious Mockery so I could be like, bad kitty. But I don't. No, that's all. I don't want to like back up and take an opportunity or whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
Eminence, you are up and the beasts are on deck.
Okay, so just to clarify, Bryn just straight up healed me 15 hit
Yep,
points.
you've got 15 hit points, so you're back up.
Yeah.
You're conscious.
Cool. Yep, for the second time in not that many days, she comes back from almost certain death and stares into Bryn's eyes. Like, fuck. Panics. Misty Step. I'm joining Aery in the tree.
So there's that hilarious moment where you come back to consciousness, you see Bryn, and then past Bryn up in the tree, you can see Aery is kind of like dangling from a branch, and you're just like, huh, good idea. And just teleport right up there. So now the two of you are flanking this bird's nest where the little birds are cheep, 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 just cheeping.
Okay. I appear straddling the branch and go, I knew there were birds.
Anything else?
I guess I'll wave to Aery and just be like, hi, any ideas?
The menu.
I've just been slowing down what I can. I don't feel very good.
Me neither.
You can see Bryn, that the cat directly in front of you and Eminence is now angry. It's like searching around looking, but it doesn't see. That said, they are going to take their turns. The one that is by Oriana, we'll start with that one first. It is going to take 2 attacks against you, Oriana, getting a 14 and a 12.
Neither of those hit again.
Neither of those hit. You watch as it takes these 2 swipes, and you're easily able to hold up your guard and just defend against this creature as it starts swinging. Now that you see it head on, even as it's like splitting into 2, you see that the illusion that it seems to project matches where the strike is going to land. So by following the illusion, you're still able to get your armor up in time to protect from these hits as it strikes against you, even as it splits once again into 2 and then flickers and disappears. Okay, there's one right next to Bryn. It's going to take 2 attacks against Bryn, getting a 13 and a 17.
First misses 17 is my armor class.
Okay, so that's a hit. That is 7 points of bludgeoning and 3 points of piercing for 10 total.
Easy.
Okay, and then the last one is on its own. Everyone else is kind of disengaged from it. It's going to run up around you, Oriana, to flank. Actually, it's not smart enough to flank. It's just going to run up against you and just take 2 attacks, and just try to overwhelm you. That is a 15 to hit and a 24 to hit.
The 15 doesn't, but the 24 very does.
Okay.
Does it have to run past Bryn?
No, you are on the other side of it.
Okay. I tried.
Yeah, so that's the 24. Did one of them attack you, Natalie? Am I getting my order confused?
No. So you said that
Yeah, no, the one that attacked
Bryn
should have been with disadvantage. Because you had the Spirit Warriors. Yeah, that's my bad.
No,
Let
no,
me
no.
roll for disadvantage real quick.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the second roll is a 21, which I'm afraid also would have hit.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's still
Thank you for
hits.
remembering. I forgot.
Yes. Okay. So then the other one does attack Oriana twice. shoot, I just rolled and I already forgot what I got. Did I hit you?
You did. You hit me with one of them. I think it was like a 15
Okay.
and a 24.
Sure. Okay. Thank you very much. And for your niceness, you get 11 points of damage.
Oh, thanks.
You're very welcome. Okay. They all once again just flicker out and split. Aery, you are up. Natalie, you're on deck.
Okay, so again, staying in the tree, throwing down spells, and I'm going to try. So they're still, or have they sort of stopped doing that thing where they like converge and trick people into hitting the wrong one?
No, they are still doing that. As they're going, as they move and take their turn, they seem to split, and then one of them just vanishes.
Okay, well then I am going to cast Mind Spike on the same one that attacked me, that I attacked last time.
Okay.
It needs to make a Wisdom saving throw.
And roll credits. That is a 17.
Okay, so it does. Okay, so this only works. It takes half damage. So I'll roll the damage.
Sure.
But I don't think the other effect doesn't take hold, so that is fine. I guess.
Okay.
But does it take half damage? Because the Hellish Rebuke, the half damage didn't work.
Yeah. So as you're casting the spell, you see that even though it's like not even looking at you, you begin to cast the spell, and one of the tentacles again kind of like seems to react reflexively, and the head just whips up to look at you and quickly pulls itself out of the way. Okay. Yeah, I'm afraid no damage.
Damn. No damage.
It looks up into the tree now, and it sees you, and it starts to let out this hiss as it seems to have come to a conclusion about something.
I give it the finger.
Excellent.
Don't you even think about coming up here.
Okay. Anything else, Aery?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
Natalie, you are up.
Okay. Am I currently still in... One is still engaged with Oriana. One is between me and Bryn.
Yes.
And there's a third one. Where's the third one again?
The third one, so two of them are attacking Oriana. The third one is between the rest of you.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Right.
So the one that is currently by you is pretty heavily wounded.
Okay,
No?
sure. Let's try and deal with that bad boy then. Bad cat. I don't know. Yeah, I will attack that one. Twice with Reckless and try and kill the thing. But I'm guessing first one will be flat roll again?
Flat roll, yep.
So that's 24.
24 hits. Second roll is with advantage.
Okay. That's not that much better. Still only a 21. But that should
21 still hits. Yeah. That's 2 hits.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't roll concentration for Bless.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's get a concentration check.
Oh, 19. Okay, it's still up.
You're fine. Yeah.
That's not great. So that's 9 plus 8 plus 4.
17. Okay. You, once again, this creature seems to ignore you as you strike against it, and the two spirit warriors sort of appear for a moment, and it strikes instead against Bryn, who revived its dinner, basically. And as it strikes, you can see that these spirit warriors temporarily like rush in at an unnatural speed to like distract, but ultimately evaporate as it did strike Bryn. Almost in rage, you bring up your axe once and get it right on the back of the neck, and it kind of like cracks at an awkward angle as it falls down to the ground, and it seems to very slowly be pushing itself back up as you bring up the axe a second time. and manage to get deep enough to break the spine of this creature, and you watch the light in the eyes just kind of fade as it dies.
Perfect. Fuck that cat. I would just like with the rest of my movement to the one that was looking up into the tree. Was that one of the ones that was engaged with Oriana?
Yes. Yeah.
And that tree, how far away on the ground is that?
I'd say it's about 10 feet away from the base of the tree, and then climbing the tree would be like another 20 or 20.
I don't want to climb
or
the
so
tree.
feet.
I just want to stop. I want to stand in front of the tree. Like, I want to run over to where the creature is currently that's looking and kind of stand in its path towards where
if it were to go to the tree.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Excellent. You're able to do that, and you very quickly set up a body next to it. You are 5 feet away from Oriana, however. So you're like a little. You're kind of positioned in between them.
Yeah. So there's like
Or I'm sorry, on the opposite side. Yeah.
So we're flanking it at the moment, currently.
Oh yeah. I guess you would be flanking.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. As long as I'm next to the creature, but also in its path.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
I will say that you guys are flanking it enough to provide advantage.
Right.
Okay. Oriana, no, sorry. Bryn, you're up. Oriana, you're on deck.
So I think with that one being killed, Bryn would run up to the more injured looking one. Also trying to get into like a flanking position potentially. Sorry, I've got my own cat problem here.
That's the one that's currently looking up into the tree that is being flanked. So you can pretty easily get into a good position around it.
Yeah,
Boy,
and then
that cat.
2 attacks on that one.
Okay. So the first attack is with disadvantage. Yep.
Oh, 2 9s. But then the D4, so it's 16, 18.
18 hits.
Yep. D10. And it is plus 12 points of damage on the first strike.
Okay. And the second?
The second's normal.
The second is a flat roll.
Because I'm flanking, am I not? And after the first hit,
yeah, if you're able to flank
actually...
it, then that's advantage. Yeah.
Oh, so I technically shouldn't have rolled. I rolled 2 9s. It doesn't matter for the previous one. But
so this is with advantage.
This is. Dirty 20 without the bless.
Yeah, that hits.
Yeah. And then another 8, so another 12 points of damage.
Okay. As it's looking up into the tree, Natalie manages to sort of flank around it, getting into position to prevent it from running into the tree. And as Natalie gets in front of it, her head the cat's head looks over towards Natalie now. And in that brief moment, you're able to quickly come up behind it and just get the pike right in between the fore cleft of like these 2 front arms on the right, where the skin is already blackened and charred from this thunderbolt. And it just sinks deeper and deeper into this creature until finally something kind of like pushes up against the edge of your blade and then lets go. And almost immediately the creature just kind of goes limp and falls down to the ground as you manage to get a deep stab right into its heart.
And then, because I landed attacks, if she has enough movement, like, because the other one was flanking, like near, like it was they were right next to each other, weren't they? Because they were on Aery. She can use a bonus attack with Polar Master and attack with the butt of her halberd.
Okay, absolutely. I like it.
Then this one, because it wouldn't be flanking, this one would be disadvantage. Just moving to the next, I don't know if she'd have enough movement to flank again.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say you probably have enough room.
So just straight?
This is a relatively close quarters fight.
So again, dirty 20.
That hits.
Without bless, and then it's a D4. 8 points of damage.
Okay, nice. Excellent. Anything else?
No, she'll just like hold her ground next to this one.
Cool. Ori, you're up. Eminence, you're on deck.
Okay, so one of them is still right next to me, or it tried to run up a tree?
No, it's right next to you.
It's right next to me? Okay.
Yep.
I can, once per long rest, as part of my tiefling shit, cast Burning Hands at 2nd level. From where Bryn and Natalie are close to me, it's a 15-foot cone. Can I cast that without hitting either of them?
Yeah, I would say you can position around it to just whoosh.
Okay, because I don't want to hit any of my friends.
Okay, is that dex save?
Let me just double check. Yes, it is a dex save of 14.
It's a 15.
That's not fair.
As you manage to position around it, you hold up your hands, and even though its attention is on you, sort of following you as you move around, this time you watch as both of the tentacles just kind of react, and almost supernaturally it kind of pulls itself out of the way of the cone of fire that suddenly sprays out.
Okay, I will move my sneaky weapon then to this one and just do that attack.
Let's get an attack roll with disadvantage.
Fun! Okay, that's a 9 and
Actually,
an
no,
11.
that's not true. It's a straight roll.
Oh, okay. Do I just take the higher of those two?
Just take the higher. Might as well.
So that is 16.
16. Let no one said I wasn't a generous DM. 16 hits. Let's get damage.
Okay, and that is the 8. That is a 7 plus 2.
So that's 9 points. Excellent. Okay, that brings us anything else?
No.
Okay, Eminence, you are up. The beast is on deck.
Okay, so we currently have one. Is it coming towards the tree, or is it just?
It is not. The one that was looking towards the tree was killed by Bryn when she managed to get up behind it.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. I'd like to just kind of look at Aery and be like, maybe don't do that again. I'm not going to do anything. I'm scared as hell, and I can't seem to hit these things. I'm hiding in a tree, man.
You slowly pull your legs up so they're not hanging over the branch, and just kind of like try to balance so you're out of line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, why don't you just roll a stealth check for me, just for funsies?
Okay, do I have good stealth? That was a 9 plus. I think I'm stealthy.
Stealthy
11.
enough. 11? Yeah. You kind of like slowly pull yourself out of line of sight, just hiding your limbs from the branch below. Okay. The beast. 2 of its allies have just gone down, and it's going to turn and sort of assess the situation. And as it does that, you can see that it kind of flickers out into 2, and one of them vanishes and disappears. And then it's going to disengage and sprint into the forest. So it just turns and gallops off.
Do we get to just try and wail on it with opportunity attacks?
So it uses its action to disengage.
Oh.
Guess we all just cry unless we can ditch and shit at it.
So it travels 40 feet in its turn. Aery, you still can see it. But you get the sense that by its next turn, it would probably just yeet into the forest. It is moving at full speed. Aery, you're up. Is there anything you want to do?
Oh, I don't think she can hear us right now.
Oh.
Wait.
Sorry, I had to take my headphones out to put my phone on charge because it was on 1%.
Oh, no.
So I can still see it, right?
Yeah, you can still see it, but it looks to be retreating from the fight.
That's right. I'd like to just throw one last spell at it, if I may.
Okay. Yeah, you absolutely may.
Emmy's glaring daggers at you.
I'm going to try and
hold it. Balanced on the branch, just...
Oh, actually, no. I'm going to try Mind Spike again.
Okay, yeah, that is wisdom save.
Wait, I'm on the wrong one.
I can't tell if that's good or bad.
Yes, wisdom save.
That is an 18.
Well, nothing happens.
It kind of dodges out of the way. One of the tentacles just reacts once again.
Damn, these things roll really good.
Damn.
No, the reason I wanted to do that is because I will know where it is, so that it comes back. I would know.
Yeah.
But
okay, Natalie, it is about 40 feet away from you, running into the forest.
Look, I also have 40 feet of movement. I could chase it. However, I'm kind of getting the feeling that it's leaving us. So I have a javelin. I might attempt to throw one, but honestly, I'm not going to chase it. So,
What are you thinking?
I guess I'll just throw a javelin at it. I believe that my additional attack only applies to melee weapons.
Let us check.
Oh no, it's just you can attack twice.
Yeah.
What do you know? I can throw 2 javelins? That seems ridiculous.
You can swing an axe twice. Why not yeet
Just
two
accept it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
good for us.
Actually, you know what? I don't do
Do you
this very
wanna
often.
not?
I might do my hand axe because then I can do 3 attacks because I can do 1 bonus action.
Under what now? Where are you getting this bonus action?
Because I have 2 weapon fighting. So as a bonus action, I can use 1 more, left for 2 hands.
I see athlete, extra attack, fast movement.
It's listed under, when I go actions, it's listed under, it's listed under bonus actions. It's 2 weapon fighting. Just above rage.
So it's specifically when you take the attack action and you're attacking with a light melee weapon that you're holding in one hand, you can use a bonus attack action to attack with a different light melee weapon you're holding in the other hand. So
I mean,
if
technically
either
I
weapon
have
has
2
the
hand axes, so
thrown-
even though I just have to throw 2 hand axes
Yeah,
anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
If either weapon has the thrown property, you can throw the weapon instead of making.
But I only have 2
melee.
hand axes, so I can't make 3 attacks to throw 3 axes
Yeah.
if I don't have 2. If I only have
Nope.
2, so
You've
I
only
only
got
do
2.
2 anyway.
Okay.
But
Well, problem solved.
yeah, I'll try it. They do have over the initial range, so I think they get disadvantage, but I will do them recklessly, which I
Can
think
you
still gives me
recklessly
disadvantage.
throw-
Let me have a look.
You can throw a slide off.
Action. Wait, where is it? Features. Fuck, I don't know. It's
Oh,
one of them. Where? I can do it. Apparently.
strength. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay,
that was very confusing.
let's-
It's still with
let's
disadvantage
reckless-
though, I think, because it's disadvantage and disadvantage with advantage.
No, it doesn't count up like that. If you
Oh.
have 4 disadvantage and 1 advantage, it's still only a flat roll.
Okay. See, nice. So that's 17 for the first one.
17 hits.
So with a hit, I don't have that first, but I had the second one anyway, so it should just be a flat 1 anyway. Is that right?
Yeah, because it's disadvantage from range and advantage from reckless, so it's just a flat roll.
Second one is a 21. So
21 hits. Let's get damage.
just 2 1s. You for real?
Yeah.
So that makes it 2, 8, and 4. So 13?
2, 8, and 4, 13. Yeah. 13 points. The first axe just catches one of the tentacles, and you just kind of watch as it kind of goes limp and starts dragging along the ground behind it as it goes. The second axe just digs right into the haunch, and it lets out this yelp as it sets to continue running. But the axe sticks into its back leg.
Damn it. Oh, well, it's fine. I'm not overly keen on chasing it.
Okay, Bryn, you're up or you're on deck.
How injured is this one looking?
It looks like it's on its last legs.
Yeah, I think Bryn's pretty like annoyed at it with all the damage that these guys have done. So she's gonna run forward just far enough and then bonus action Misty Step so that she's in front of it and
Okay.
hit it twice.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
Try and hit it twice.
The attacks are straight rolls because it was already hit, so its illusion has flickered and faded out. So you run forward and just Misty Step in front of it, quickly stop, catch yourself, turn around and bring the pike ready.
20 for the first one.
That'll hit.
Why do I keep losing my D10? I've used it so many times and then my brain just cannot perceive it when I need it. So that's a 4, so 8 plus 4. I always forget how much I add for. Yes, so 12 for the first one.
Okay.
Damage. And then...
What was the second to hit?
Second to hit plus, so 7, 10, 17.
17 hits.
Thank you, bless. I am so blessed. And then 9 points of damage for the second one.
Excellent. How do you want to do this?
Ooh. I'm envisioning that she would have like running and like you say, like kind of instead of just like trying to catch herself when she Misty Steps, kind of using the momentum to bring her halberd around in a wide cleave and take out one of its front legs. And then just as it's like down, just second strike, bring it straight down into the back of the neck.
Okay, yeah. So as you start running after it, running forwards, and instead of being limited by such a conventional thing as direction, when you teleport, you start running, and as you're running for it, you kind of like jump into the air and raise your halberd so that you have this forward momentum, and then you like portal forward with the Misty Step, but you're facing backwards towards the creature. And as you come swinging through the air, the halberd just easily cleaves through 2 of the front legs on the side, and it immediately pivots down to the ground as it catches. It kind of like curls and slides up a little bit. One of the tentacles, the remaining tentacle, I should say, kind of like seems to coil up as if a snake trying to get some sort of desperate strike, but almost as like mercy killing style. You just walk up to it, raise the halberd, and just right into the back of the neck, and you hear a crack, and the light just fades from its eyes.
Yeah.
And you are out of combat. Congratulations.
We did it!
I'm just gonna point to the hand axe still in the beast and hold my hand up for Bryn to pass me her hand axe.
Yeah. Bryn will like wrench it out and just kind of like spin in the hand catch and walk back over and
Oh,
give it
no
back
throwing.
oh my god, go on, and then she just like, throws it back to Natalie.
Just watch it lodge
Roll a
into my shoulder.
d20 and add your dex modifier and your proficiency modifier.
Bryn?
Yep.
Oh, she's not a Dexy bitch. Oh, 14 though, plus 1 and plus proficiency, so 18?
18. You take it and you throw it. I would say make an athletics or acrobatics check, Natalie, to catch it. Or move.
Wait.
So
What do you
athletics
mean?
is catch it. Acrobatics is get out of the way.
Oh,
Because Bryn
okay,
has just thrown
okay,
your hand
okay.
axe back at you.
Well, no,
So what's
I
it
just
gonna be?
threw
Are
that
you
on the
gonna move, or are you
table.
gonna-
But
Are you going to move or are you going to catch it?
I'm gonna catch it. I'm absolutely gonna catch it.
Okay,
I don't have
athletics
any other
check.
choice. It's gonna be fun. That's not great. Athletics.
You
So
try and beat
11
an
plus
18
7,
here.
so that's a 19.
That's an 18, which is exactly what she just threw.
Oh, 18.
So as it kind of
Maths.
yeah,
Jesus.
as it spins through the air, you're like, oh geez, she's got some speed, and you kind of just get your hands together and clap, and the blade kind of cuts a little bit into your left palm, but you do manage to catch into it, just clapping your hands together and stop the spin. It kind of like pivots just a little bit before you catch it and pull it free. You have your hand X back.
Nice. I can pick up the other one. It was
Fun.
like,
We'll
Air
work on it.
5.
We'll work on it. It's fine.
You air 5 and Bryn from across the distance, you can see just like the little hand axe mark on her palm.
Oh. I do not see. Do you two need a hand getting down from up there? Looking up at in the tree at Aery and Emmy.
Emmy's gonna just kind of, yeah, as long as the tree like isn't too high. I don't imagine we're super high up. She's gonna.
It's about 20 feet up.
Okay, she'll shimmy her way down
Just
awkwardly.
slowly shimmying.
Yeah. No, I'm fine.
No worries. Bryn will like very nonchalantly stroll to the base of the tree and just be ready in case she does slip so that she can catch her. But it's like they're just like, yep, I'll just wait here, kind of leaning against the tree, like, you got this. It's fine. I know it's fine.
Aery
Don't worry about
is gonna see Eminence like shimmying down the tree and just misty step down.
If only I had more stuff.
And then just like stand at the bottom and watch.
Yeah, and you just watch slowly and painfully as Eminence shimmies slowly down the tree. I'm not even going to make you roll for it because you did specify you want to do it slowly and safely, but it does take you about 3 or so minutes to shimmy down.
Just because she was so like viciously mauled, is there just like a smear of blood slowly trailing down the tree as her like body's pressing against the bark?
This is humiliating.
If it's going to take a while for her to get down, I'd like to start casting Prayer of Healing because it takes 10 minutes.
Yeah. 3 minutes later, you're finally back on solid ground.
Oriana very pointedly avoiding looking at her.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking at anyone.
That definitely could have gone better, but it definitely could have gone a lot worse.
I don't know how much worse it could have gone.
I mean, you could be dead right now.
Yeah, I very almost wasn't. So was Emmy. It could have gone slightly worse, in which we were actually fully dead, but it was pretty bad for us, Bryn. I don't know what to tell you. Not a good way to wake up.
No, but like we were all in the same kind of situation. It's just they really. I mean, look at you two. Of course, you look like you're definitely the most delicious. So why wouldn't they have?
Yeah, we probably are. You know, if we have to think about it, I would say we probably taste the best.
So, like, it's understandable that they attacked you guys first because, again, look at both of you. But you're not dead. We managed to kill them, and they were actually quite delicious when we tried them at the inn. So, you know, we could just have roast displaced beast for.
Maybe we should take one back and give it to Askat.
I mean, we can path back here on the way back. I don't know if Arden is going to be really wanting to carry a displaced beast the whole way. I don't know how long they last without some kind of curing, but we could try.
As you look around saying that, you realize you don't see Eridan.
Oh, where did that bitch go? He was right here.
Actually, I didn't see him after he threw the dagger. I mean, we were kind of a little bit preoccupied with other things. I mean, again, them jumping on you and Emmy, but...
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
There wasn't a fourth cat that we didn't see, was there?
I mean...
I don't think so. We are pretty observant. Although that said, he did leave without us noticing, so I don't think so, though.
No, I don't think. I mean, the noise, they seemed to want to go for the kill before. They didn't just, like, try and drag Eminence and Aery away. And the noise that both of them made when they, like, got bit in the throat was pretty not nice. So I think...
Yeah. We don't need to be reminded it, like, just happened, okay?
But I think we would have heard if Eridan was, like, grabbed by another one.
Can I go over to where Eridan was last seen? He was sort of like fishing through his stuff trying to get his daggers, wasn't he?
Yeah. You head over and
just check it out. Like, do I see any signs of like anything disturbed in a way that it shouldn't be? Like something's been dragged or.
Sure. So I'm not even going to make you an investigation check. Number 1, his pack is gone. Number 2, his bedroll is gone. And there on the ground where his bedroll was is a single piece of paper folded over several times.
I'll kind of kneel where his bedroll was and unfold the piece of paper.
Sure. Let me DM you what it says. The rest of you can now see that Eminence is sort of crouched over where Eridan's things were, reading this folded up piece of paper.
Eminence, are you okay?
Just a minute.
DM, did this like interrupt our long rest? And like
Yes.
we will be completing a long rest, or
It is interrupting your long rest.
okay.
I finish reading the note and I just fold it back up, put it back down where I found it, and I walk away into the trees.
Okay. Are you heading in a specific direction?
Not particularly, just the closest sort of back into the forest that I can get where I'm a little bit away from the party.
Absolutely.
Bryn is going to look at Oriana and just kind of make eye contact. Like, are you? Should I follow her? Should someone follow her? Should we not follow her? Like, Bryn is just like.
Would I have finished my spell by now, since it takes 10 minutes to cast?
I would say you're getting pretty close. You've probably only got about a minute or two left.
Yeah, I gotta stay here.
Bryn she knows enough about spell stuff. If she can see that she's in the middle of doing something magic related, I guess she'd be like, and
Aery
Bryn,
could go if you guys aren't sure.
You could both.
Although
no,
my
I
phone is
don't.
on
I
1%,
think
so I probably won't get through the
Bryn
conversation.
go through it because Bryn is not the one who nearly died.
That's a good point.
Okay, I'll go. And Bryn will follow. Not rush after. Like, be respectful, kind of, because she's actively leaving where the group is, and kind of just follow her, and then see if she finds a space. And then we'll approach kind of once she's settled.
Yeah, there is some room. You are able to find a second smaller clearing. I would say probably about 40 or so feet into the wood. There's just sort of this old stump of a tree that fell over sideways, and the inside of the stump is kind of hollowed out to almost make like a seat. With like just this curved and broken back that kind of stretches up towards the rest of the tree that's split and bent over. But it almost seems like that the inside of this trunk has been worn smooth, as if to make this seat. And you're able to find that pretty easily, Eminence.
Okay.
And,
if Bryn follows me, then she will find Eminence sitting there, just kind of fiddling with her bracelet, just thinking.
Bryn will walk up and just kind of sit next to her and not look at her, just kind of wait and just let her kind of make the first move conversationally.
mm-hmm.
I thought he was my friend.
Well, I am sure that whatever has transpired, that there's some kind of reasoning to it. Friends do have to make hard choices sometimes, but it does not mean that they're not your friend.
Not good enough for anyone, am I?
Bryn will just like put her arm like kind of gently around Emmy.
She'll lean into it, but she doesn't really say anything else.
First off, you are a very important person. And second off, what other people think about you should not determine the person you are. I hope that you know the quality and the caliber of person that you are. And whatever reasons that Eridan has had for whatever he has done, that doesn't reflect on you, Emmy.
I don't think she'll say anything, but she's listening. She's just kind of, when you don't really want to make eye contact with someone because you think you're going to cry if you do.
Bryn will just gently, like as she's just like rubbing Emmy's shoulder, she'll use her last 15 points of lay on hand just to try and make her more comfortable. She doesn't need to be feeling physical pain as well as emotional pain right now.
Yeah.
That helps. I was on less than half hit points.
Yeah, so that's another 15.
It is an interesting experience to be healed of physical wounds and yet still suffering emotional wounds. And I don't imagine it's an experience that Eminence is going to forget for at least some period of time.
When she does feel the healing, she does just whisper thank you.
Very welcome.
For the other three of you, the two of them step off into the forest, and that folded up piece of paper that Eminence has just dropped is still there. Would you like to complete your prayer of healing, Oriana?
Yes.
Okay. So that is going to go off. And how much health is that?
12 points for everybody except for Bryn and Emmy because they walked out of my circle.
So that is 12 points to Natalie and Aery.
And me.
And you.
Is this a bad time to be like, I'm nearly at full health again? Like...
Yes.
Oh, barbarians!
Once that is done, I would like to go grab the note if nobody else has yet. But we also really need to take a break because Kat's phone is dying and she can't hear us or interact. So I'll read the note after.
Yep, you walk over and grab the note. We're gonna go and take a quick break, everybody.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, we'll be back. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blam. That's the one I'm looking for.
Blam. Welcome back, everyone, from our break. We're now ready to resume with our gameplay. Where we last left off, we just had Oriana completing her song of prayer, song of healing, prayer of healing, one of those, to heal the party, during which time Aery, who was unable to respond at the time in the chat, went over to grab the note. So I will now send you the note as well, Aery, so that you can read that if you like. Yep. Yep. There you
Love
go.
some ominous note reading.
That's it.
While he's reading, I think if as long as Bryn's okay with it, I guess Emmy and Bryn. Emmy's ready to head back, and she just kind
Bryn
of.
would have just like waited for like the pull out slightly of like the hug and would like follow her back.
Yeah, I'll just head back and join the group, but I'm not saying anything. I'm just staring at the ground.
It doesn't take you too long, and as you get back, you find Aery just finishing up reading the note, and Oriana has just finished her prayer of healing. But I'm afraid that you were just outside of the range with you and Bryn, so neither of you do get the healing.
Oriana was coming over as well, right?
Yeah.
So when she oh my god, when she gets me, she'll just be like, he just left us. He didn't even say goodbye. He must have written this note in the night and he just went.
What does it say?
He says, I'm sorry, I have to do this. I think I'm probably heading off for good. My time with you isn't what I expected, and I feel that we've given it a red-hot go. I have to go, and some of you may have noticed that my past is chasing me. I don't want it to chase after any of you because of me. As this group is, I'd rather leave than take any risks. And he said that Emmy and I were really great friends, so I'm glad he thought that, but I wish he would have at least said goodbye to us in person.
I mean, at least it didn't get eaten by a cat, like I was thinking may have happened.
Yeah, I suppose.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I never thought that he would just leave. I mean, yeah, he's a weird guy, but I didn't think he'd ever just fucking leave, you know?
No.
Maybe he was as last ditch efforts. He did care about yourself and Emmy. Maybe he thought he could have lured one of those things away with him.
Maybe. I kind of want to follow him, but I think I would only have something mean to say to him.
The second time it's mentioned that he cared about Aery and Emmy, Eminence just kind of makes a sort of choked noise and steps away a little bit from the group. She doesn't go running off into the forest again, but she's just not ready to hear that.
Look, whatever has happened with this, obviously, if he had a note, it was premeditated. I don't think that this is anything that was within our control. Like he said, I mean, he's been very on edge from what we've learned about some of his backstory. Maybe it was just too much being in such close proximity with the Feywilds.
Yeah, I know. It kind of makes sense, but that doesn't make it less sad, does it?
No, it doesn't. But I just hope that no one here is really thinking that it had anything to do with them. Some people just need to face things in their own way and in their own time.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's kind of right. I'm glad that Fey Prince didn't come to kill us. So that probably won't happen now, so that's nice.
Well, we've all taken a bit of a hit, except for Natalie. It didn't really seem like they did much to you during that, but all the same, we should probably finish our sleep. Those were a bit of a handful, and whatever took those trees down that we passed last night probably is also going to be doing some damage if we have to fight them as well. So,
Yeah, I need to lie down. And maybe cry a little bit. I don't know.
Bryn will, because she doesn't feel the cold so much, she'll give her blanket, like as people are settling down again, she'll, like, her blanket lay over Emmy and her cloak lay over Aery, just so that they're hopefully a bit more comfortable. Because Bryn likes the nice brisk night air anyway.
Well, I think in the morning, we'll set off when the sun comes up. We'll have a bit of a walk ahead of us. Maybe if we finish up the watches and call it a night at this point.
DM question. We had to completely retake our long rest, didn't we? Because it was interrupted.
Yes. So it's probably about 3 a.m. at this point. The sun is probably going to come up in just a few hours. But your long rest has been fully interrupted by combat. You would need to start again.
Yeah.
Well,
we can reset the watches.
We had a really good head start. We made really good progress. A little bit of a sleep is not going to hurt anyone.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Ori, if you and I wanted to take first watch, and we can take it from there. See, I mean, I'm happy to take a solo watch, even I didn't get knocked about too hard, and spells aren't too much of a problem for me.
That's fair. I'll take second watch.
I think, and then maybe third watch Natalie if you wanted.
I'm happy to slot in wherever you feel. I'm happy to just...
I mean, really, Aery and Emmy did the heavy lifting in that fight, so I think they probably need the full rest, because...
That's it, they put a lot into that.
We would have been goners without them, so I think the three of us will handle the watches tonight, because, make up for what ball we dropped in combat.
When you mention that Emmy did some of the heavy lifting, she's going to just kind of huff and roll herself up in the blanket that you draped over her and turn her back to everyone.
All right, I'll take the first watch. I'll wake you up when I'm done, Oriana.
Aery only needs to actually, well, he doesn't even sleep, but probably he would take the 8 hours anyway.
Just lie there.
All of us know he's an elf boy.
Yeah.
I think all of us are like, you know what? You just take the... you really took that L, so you just take the extra rest.
I think after like the first 4 hours, after he's like officially like got his rest, he would go and like curl up like back to back with Emmy.
I was gonna say,
just be sad together.
Oriana, before she goes to sleep, if Eminence will let her, is going to like lie down next to her and kind of like gently pet her hair. She's not going to say nice things because she's really not good at that. She's going to try and just be like, I'm here for you, but I'm not using words.
And Bryn's going to, as a warning, take a head of one of the displaced beasts and put it on a spike.
Set it up on that rock we've all been sitting on.
Yeah,
like, hey guys.
The rock, just like...
Yeah. Sure. The rest of you start to slowly, one by one, drift off to sleep. Bryn, let's get a perception check for your watch.
Oh no, why did I say I was doing this alone?
17.
17?
Yeah.
There is, for the first hour or so, you were just powered by the leftover adrenaline from the fight and the emotional weight of what has just transpired. But as the second and third hour drags on, you are struck by the silence of the forest around you. The almost absence of life during this nighttime as cloud cover begins to roll in and just make it more and more difficult to see. But as you get towards the end of your watch, the sky begins to lighten just a little bit towards the edge of the horizon, and your watch passes without incident.
She will go and wake Ori up and take her rest.
Sure. Oriana, let's get a perception check.
It's a good time to decide that I want to juice. I'm like, yes, I'm about to roll it. I got to use my hands. Okay. Oh, that's not excellent. That's a 9 in total.
9. So as the horizon begins to get slowly that dark blue into the lighter blue into that sort of pale color as the sun slowly begins to rise further off in the distance, there are multiple times where you catch yourself having to bring your attention back to the watch as your thoughts are just continuously drifting away from the attention at hand. There's a moment where you catch yourself and you realize you don't actually remember how long that bird has been chirping for, if it has just started or if it has been chirping for a while. You're so sort of lost in your thoughts that you are largely impervious to your surroundings. But that said, your watch passes without incident.
Oh, thank God. I'll go wake Natalie.
Okay.
And go back to where Eminence and Aery now are.
Yep.
Since I was
you can see the two of them are, they're kind of cuddled up back to
Aery
back.
took after his 4 hours, went in there, would have been kind of like replacing Oriana, and now she's going to be in there with like both of them. Like I'm watching these in my sleep. These are mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's get a perception check, Natalie.
Watch this be terrible. It's not great. It's a 7.
7. A very similar sort of thing. You wake up, you're as rested as you're going to be, knowing that you've got the rest of the day ahead of you. And you didn't suffer too much over the course of the fight as well. But again, your thoughts just keep on drifting away from you. And you've spent time learning how to hone your focus so that you can keep watch, so that you can fight in tense situations. But that focus can be a double-edged sword, because when you do not have control of it, such as in a situation like this, you laser in on that one specific train of thought of what happened. Where did Eridan go? Why did he leave? Just constantly the questions circling over and over in your mind as you replay different incidents and conversations in your head, wondering. But finally, at around 11 o'clock in the morning, you get the sense that the watch has largely been completed. The party should be fully rested at this point, and your watch passes without incident. So everyone can go ahead and take a long rest with their hit points and spells.
Yay!
Love
I got
that.
a total of like 4 hit points back.
Wow.
Just flex.
I am.
Honor.
Look, I gotta be happy
I
about
think
something.
she
I
is.
can't
I think
cast
that's what it is.
spells, so.
Bryn would have, if she stirred first or earlier, she would have like gotten up and, just because it is daylight now, gone and like just collected any fallen branches and like any wood or anything like that. She wouldn't harvest any fresh wood, any fallen wood, and just made like a small fire and be making tea for everyone. And like,
Sure, I'll have you do a survival check to get enough wood to start a small fire. Because this is still a living forest.
yes. Natural 20. That's 23.
You find a small fire. Just already burning. No,
Holy shit. Perfect. This is exactly what I need. Like the right size. It's not going to boil the water too rapidly. Love to see it.
It's like the rock was like a hollow rock, and you lift the top off, and there's just a fire with a gas little.
Bryn has just stumbled on the burning brush or burning bush, whatever. Would you look at that? I can make tea for this.
Instead of starting a religion, I'm gonna make tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're able to collect enough tinder and firewood to start a small blaze, just enough for a cup of tea.
Yeah. And just like as everyone individually starts waking up, she'll go and give Natalie one because Natalie obviously was finishing the watch. And then as everyone wakes up, she'll give them a cup of herbal tea.
At some point while Bryn is collecting the firewood, Eminence kind of wakes up, but for a long time she just lies in her bedroll and kind of takes in the bloodied head on a spike that Bryn set up the night before and watches this majestic half-dragon creature be very capable and just kind of pities herself. And she's in no rush to get up.
Everyone is still like kind of wordlessly mulling or not quite getting up. Bryn also wanted to try carving off some of the displacer beast and just like frying it. The roast was delicious. So like, wouldn't displacer like it's the tentacles? Can you make like takoyaki out of them, or are they delicious? Like, she's very intrigued.
Do you want to try?
Maybe not takoyaki. She doesn't really have the little like griddle, but definitely like she's like, will it taste like seafood or will it taste like red meat? I don't understand. So, yeah.
Salt and pepper displacer beast.
Yeah. Tempura displacer tentacles.
I'd say that, like, maybe Bryn and Natalie can tag team it to make some breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay,
like preparing normal rations, but then just like, wonder what that tastes like.
Some spicy.
we know we can eat it because we tried it at the tavern.
Yeah. I would say the two of you are pretty easily able to harvest a sizable haunch of meat from these creatures. The meat that you get is fairly gamey. These are large, muscular creatures. They are predators. They are hunters. They don't have a lot of excess fat unless they've been very, very successful. So as you kind of like carve into it, you can sort of feel the toughness of the flesh itself. I would say that you're able to cut it into pretty thin strips into almost like jerky, without a huge amount of difficulty. What specifically are you trying to do with it? Are you doing like cubes? Are you?
Yeah, well, like probably searing strips. But if she's noticing it's really gamey, is she able to, because she does like cooking, try and like gut the carcass and get the fat from around the kidneys to fry it in?
Sure, that sounds like a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what suet is the fat around the kidneys. So just like, I'm happy to roll because it's like finding displacer kidneys
kidney on
and then cutting the
so
fat
let's
off.
Do, let's do another,
medicine? Because it's like organ related?
I'm gonna say
or survival, because it's like eating, like, okay.
If Natalie's assisting as well, does that give her advantage at all?
Yeah, you would have advantage if Natalie's helping.
Good, because one was a 6, the other was 14, so 17.
17, yeah, you're able to find the kidneys relatively easily, and you find like a nice reserve, a nice paunch kind of around it, and you're able to sort of scrape the fat off without puncturing it. Without too much difficulty. Excellent.
Displacer meat.
Yeah, you put out your pan and you put the fat in first so that the fat starts to pop and sizzle, and the smell that comes up is almost reminiscent of, have you guys ever had like a buffalo burger?
I've had buffalo
think
meat,
so.
not a burger.
Yeah, it's almost reminiscent of buffalo. It's very similar to like cow, like red meat, but there's just sort of like a tang to it.
So like a venison or something as well, where it's really rich and heavy, and like you wouldn't.
Yeah,
eat a lot of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it just has just sort of this almost like heady aroma as it sort of rises up into the camp, and the rest of you slowly start to wake up as you've got this warm tea in front of you, and a few minutes later you start to hear the pop and the crack of these small strips of displacer bacon, which is now what it's turning out to be, in this perfect natural 20 fire that Bryn has been able to make. And it is the perfect picture of like, you're on a camping trip with mom and dad, and you're the last one to wake up out of the tent, and you go outside and they're like, hey, we're making bacon and sausage, get over here. It's just like the perfect image of breakfast being prepared for you, as the six of you sort of gather around and eat breakfast. And it is good. It does have sort of that rich flavor when you realize now that from the displacer piece that you had previously, that in having it fresh off the beast, it does have like a sort of a very strong flavor, but in simmering it for a long period of time and softening the meat is where the main art of this particular meat comes from. And you get the sense that that's what was done with Ascat, sort of really letting it soften so that it isn't quite so gamey, but it is still a fun and flavorful breakfast.
It's got to be better than rations.
It is much better than rations.
Uh,
I mean, you can always
Aery
supplement with rations.
Yeah.
Aery will probably, like Emmy, just still be like pretty sulky. Like he'll come and he'll sit around the fire and like drink his tea and eat, but like not have much to say. Just like trying to understand. what
Bryn
happened.
will, while Emmy and Aery are eating, she'll go and roll up their bedrolls for them, and like she'll kind of take their parts of
Awesome.
like the packing up the campsite kind of thing.
God, we really are like the fucking children.
I know. Eminence looks like she wants to snap at Bryn, but she kind of has enough insight to know why Bryn is doing this, and she lets her help. But she does look a little offended at the same time.
Oriana would be trying to inconspicuously like hover, like be like, what's good? Is anything bad happening? Like, are they okay? Like, but obviously her brand is that she doesn't care, so she's trying not to be obvious about it.
Yeah, so I imagine like Eminence and Aery are kind of sitting there just skulking and being sad, and then the camera zooms out a little bit more, and Oriana is sitting next to them, like trying not to look interested, just like
Just every once in a while staring really intently at like her breakfast, but like with her eyes like
like not looking. Yeah.
I'd imagine that like Natalie would have been serving up the food while Bryn's dealing with the bedrolls. So she's like placed like the tiniest bit extra onto Aery and Eminence's plates. It's like, you gotta eat this.
Yeah. You gotta grow up big and strong.
Exactly. Take some hits or something. I don't know.
They did take hits last night.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. We are never getting big or strong.
We try.
Yeah, a short while later, breakfast is all wrapped up. You've packed all of your belongings once again. Bedrolls are all wrapped. The fire is put out and covered. You hear at this point the bird nest up in the tree above you starts cheeping and chirping as you can see a bird kind of flutters and lands in up at the top.
We know that it's we're heading further into the forest from here, right?
Yes.
So I guess once we're all packed up, we head on in further.
Yeah. So you still have two choices in following the path towards the center of the Deepwood. Again, you could sort of follow the natural crevice of almost like the galactic swirl of the hills and valleys. That will take a little bit longer. You estimate you would probably arrive at the sort of the rim of the central bowl by about dusk with how late you are starting. However, another option is to try to cut directly towards the center and make a straight line. However, that's going to be a little bit more difficult and could end up costing you time if you get turned around.
The thing we were choosing, I think, this is a conversation to the party.
Yeah.
As a player. We chose last time we played to not follow that path because the people who went that way, we were like, fuck you, get killed. We're going to go the long way, right? I think that's what we decided on last
we
week.
were going like path of least resistance. Like we were taking the longer, safer route versus like just following after like the destruction kind of thing.
Yeah, so I think we'll still having what happened last night. I think we'd do the same thing. Yeah. So going the long way.
Sure.
Following the natural curves and things.
Who wants to lead the party?
I think Bryn would probably like say to Natalie, like knowing that Natalie knows her way around the wilderness, instead of proposing for Emmy to do it again today. I think
Emmy doesn't offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Natalie will take the hint.
She'll kind of look at you guys for guidance.
Natalie, you know your way around like a wilderness environment pretty well, don't you?
This type of environment, sure. I can take lead. And yeah, she'll head up the front.
Cool. Can I get a marching order, please?
So that'll be me.
I think Bryn would probably take up the rear.
Okay.
Arden probably would have gone up and like been like nudging Emmy with his head as well. Bryn would have been like just had a rough night, like kind of that like, do you wanna ride again? Like nuzzling. So it's Emmy's choice whether she would like to be riding again or walking.
I think he has better things to do than carry me everywhere.
Well, I'm sure that if he's wanting to, it is kind of his purpose as a steed to carry people, but he can go unencumbered today if you wanting to ride. I think I'll take up the rear, so I probably won't be riding him today.
I can walk, thank you.
Aery, did you want to be riding?
Oh, you're
muted.
Am I?
Oh, we can hear you a little
Can
bit.
you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Now we can.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm swapping between cables. No, I kind of feel like walking too. Give me something to focus on, I suppose.
So I guess probably Bryn will still walk as well, but just Arden beside her.
Oriana will not be helping to guide really because she's not good at that kind of stuff, but she'll be up the front with Natalie.
Sure. So I've got Natalie, Oriana, and then Emmy and Aery, and Bryn bringing up the rear.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so Natalie leading the charge. Can I get a survival check?
Oh, that's not bad. That's 16.
16, okay. So you start to follow the natural curvature of the valley, making your way towards the center. And it is... it's interesting to be back in the deep wood during the day with the sun shining as opposed to last night. There's still almost like a translucent veil that it's like it's kind of there but not there. The sense of being underwater but still having complete freedom of movement, still having complete ability to breathe, but you still almost every now and again you'll step on a branch and you'll hear it sort of echo out and then not come back, as if something is almost absorbing the sound. And as you continue along down this natural valley, it's sort of winding and curving slowly towards the left, and you just kind of bounce from one side to the other to maintain your way down. After about an hour or so of travel, you come to the pretty clear realization that the forest is getting more and more dense. This was something that you saw from the edge of the deep wood, but now that you're getting down into the valley itself, you can see that the trees are much more tightly packed together. As I smack my microphone, the trees are much more tightly packed together, branches sort of intertwining and creating these knots up in the canopy above. You're walking more and more in shadow, and less sunlight is sort of puncturing through. But as you continue on, there still seems to be a relatively clear path down the center of this valley, winding down both sides, almost as if intended somehow. And as you continue on, you also do come across these small trickles of water that slowly merge into a small central stream that seems to just be descending down the center of this valley. That makes it relatively easy to sort of pass through the center of this valley. But the first 2 hours do pass without incident. Let me go ahead and get a survival check for the next.
Where did I put my dice? What have I done? Ooh, that's much better. That's 19 plus 4, so 23. I now apparently
23.
don't trust my basic addition after getting that 18 wrong.
Yeah. As you continue on along this path, you seem to get like this renewed vigor, just realizing the pure almost potency of life around you. The trees are tall and healthy, the leaves are rich green, the bushes and the grass carpet across the sides of this valley every now and again open up into these almost picturesque vales of different canopies and valleys that almost seem to split off of this larger central arm of the basin that you're sure you could go and live in and never see another person and still be perfectly happy for the rest of your life. As you continue along with this location, it becomes more and more picturesque and resonant. You can hear birds kind of chirping and flapping overhead. Every now and again, some of the shrubbery is disturbed by natural wildlife that continues on. But as you get towards about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, getting closer and closer towards the center, towards dusk, you realize that despite how well you've been leading the party, you think you're actually slightly ahead of schedule. You come across a blockade. The trees in front of you are pretty aggressively knotted together. There's a large canopy up ahead. The stream is sort of trickling through underneath the center of this sort of large central oak that seems to have been planted directly on top of this stream that sort of passes just underneath the root structure. But the branches on the side of this oak are curved down unnaturally, creating this very aggressive weave of thick and heavy branches and twigs that looks to be pretty dense, preventing further progress down the center of this valley. There are several smaller trees nearby it with their own branches sort of roughly intertwined, creating this almost like a fence of tree.
Well, obviously, if anyone hadn't noticed it, I will relay that to the party. And like any of the information that I just found there. I wonder. It looks like there are little pockets where there are kind of arches, but they're covered in like too thicker like trees and branches and things to get through, basically.
Yeah. So looking at this tree compared to the trees maybe 5 or 10 feet back, very clearly the trees 5 or 10 feet back, the branches go straight out, or they curve, or they wend naturally. But this particular tree in the center above the stream, the branches very drastically go out and then curve down, as if deliberately maneuvered to close off this pathway.
I know that we
That's-
tried this before, but can any of us speak to the trees? I don't particularly feel like a hacking and slashing is a good way of approaching this.
I don't think I actually have it prepared. No, it's a different character I'm thinking that has it. Nope, cannot speak to trees.
I think I probably could if we'd thought about it last night before I went to sleep and reset my spells, but I didn't.
I don't really want to fight a tree.
No. I mean, it's possible it would understand us anyway. It's a magical forest.
Can Bryn then try in Sylvan to just go up and at Ori saying that it's like, oh, hello, can we please go through? We're just, making our way through. We don't have any trouble. And then just kind of stand there and
Make
Look
a
at the
persuasion
tree.
check. Make a persuasion check for
Okay.
me.
dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Cool. You walk up to this giant oak and speak to it in Sylvan. Nothing happens.
I guess that's to be expected, but it's still, I wish it had worked. No, I don't know if, well, I don't know if...
As you're saying that, you hear a rustling behind you, and the rest of you see the branches kind of suddenly moving, the leaves swaying a little bit, and then you can hear the groaning of wood shifting and moving as the branches almost seem to like fold back like some sort of feathered bird, and suddenly the curves do create arches and hallways down through the thick foliage. And almost immediately after this hallway opens, you can see it continues on for about 10 feet before opening up on the other side. Immediately on the other side, you can see destruction. There appears to have been a copse of trees that has been absolutely shredded apart, similar to the batch that you saw the day prior. You can see smaller saplings have been absolutely torn and split into many, many different pieces. A very, very large oak. It's still standing, but a good half of the interior of the trunk has been just carved out, creating this massive gaping hole throughout it. But that said, the archway is now open before you.
No, do we really want to go through that?
I think we have to.
No.
Let's all thank the
I don't think we have a choice.
tree.
Yeah, Bryn is
Yes.
gonna just like gently put her hand on the trunk of the big tree that the arch formed and just in Sylvan say, I'm really sorry about what happened to all of your friends. Thank you for letting us through. And she will, if it looks like
a single leaf just slowly spins down.
I guess Bryn, if everyone looks like they're willing to go through, she will go through first as like in case shit goes down kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
But she'll go through first if everyone is going to be following.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Eminence will follow through and kind of do a similar thing to Bryn, lay a hand on it as she walks past and just very awkwardly kind of say, thank you.
Natalie will like bow, like a very stiff backed bow to a tree.
Before
So
the tree,
thanks.
yeah.
Um,
Oriana will drop to the back of the group and she'll kind of do a little bit like what Natalie's done. She's just gonna like nod her head, thank you. Much less awkward, but no words.
She thinks it's very
Aery,
respectful.
Aery won't touch the tree, but seeing that it responded to Bryn speaking in Sylvan, will also say in Sylvan, just like, thank you. There's like a small little thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one by one, you pass by this tree, each of you thanking it in whatever small way that you can. And 10 feet through the dense foliage, you can see this. It's almost like a crime scene at this point. There appears to have been just this patch of trees that has been destroyed in a very, very similar manner to the ones that you saw the day prior. However, now that you're entering into the clearing, you can also see that the path continues to follow along the stream down the center of this valley. But off to the left of the clearing, you can almost see like a hole punched through the foliage, leading up the side of this hill, heading towards the center of the deep wood, not caring for the natural path.
Are we able to determine? I think she probably turned to Natalie and maybe Oriana, because they kind of inspected the previous clearing, and say, can you tell how long ago maybe this happened? How far behind we are to whoever or whatever did this?
Yeah, I guess we could look for tracks or...
Is that something we can tell?
Sure. I would say make a survival or a nature check.
Nature's worse. I'm not going nature. Woo, that's not too bad.
I went with survival because that was my slightly better, so that's a 15 plus 2. It's a 17.
I got
17?
22.
22? Okay.
22.
The both of you come to the conclusion that it has been at least 2 or 3 days since this particular area has been whatever happened here. The sap on the trees is long since dried. The prints that you can see pressed into the grass, dirt, and mud have largely sprung back by this point, and you can see some more recent animal tracks of what appears to be a fox crossing through this area. You also do find a small scrap of red cloth that is sort of like a dark scarlet, like somehow almost torn, just like the corner of like a handkerchief, of this deep scarlet cloth.
Like the cloth is scarlet, or it's like possibly bloodied scarlet?
It just appears to be a deep red.
Okay.
Do you want to try to differentiate?
Yes, please.
Sure. I would say, what is this? What do you think it is? What scale would you use to try to tell? Would this be just like looking at it, like perception or investigation, or would you try to use like a little bit of magic?
I guess it would be investigation, and I hate saying that because I've only got a +1 to it.
Yeah, okay. Investigation check.
I'm going to be honest, oh no. Oh my god, that's a natural 20.
Oh,
natural 20.
I was like, this is going to be like a 2, and I'm going to fail because I was honest, but I've been rewarded.
You have? So looking at this small scrap of cloth in your hands, you can see that the color is consistent throughout. It doesn't shift or gradient, which gives you the sense that if it was dyed or bleached this red color, it was largely consistent across the whole body of the cloth, not just a small splotch or corner.
Okay.
It appears to have been ripped unevenly at the corner, and it's sort of been stepped on a few times. You have to pull it away from one of the boot prints, but you do now have this small scrap of red cloth.
Wonderful.
Natalie will also relay that the event seemed to have happened 2 to 3 days ago as well. Kind of like trying to reassure them that it possibly wasn't like it wasn't our fault for not following the people that came here. Seemed to precede that.
You think maybe this is why the trees moved? That happened like 3 days ago, right? When the trees moved into the city?
I
I
think
think it's been
A day and a half ago. I
so.
think.
It could be in response to that if it was 2 to 3 days ago. That would
Maybe
make
they
sense.
passed through here on their way to do something worse to the heart.
I think that's a very good point.
Well, this kind of senseless destruction does not look like it's someone with good intentions, at least.
absolutely not.
Well, we seem to have a clearer path on the way through here. Seems that the forest trusts us in some way. Maybe we continue
Yeah.
on.
I agree. Can Bryn have while all of that, while they were searching and kind of investigating, could she have tried to go around to any trees that were damaged but weren't destroyed and try and do anything to kind of mend, even potentially expending a couple of points of lay on hands to so that saplings, anything that means that they'll survive and can kind of have a chance of growing back?
Yeah. So I'll say that you are able to find some of the trees sort of around the edge of this copse that have taken these wounds, these great gouges and slashes, but haven't been completely chopped down. You get the sense that your type of healing magic would have little to no effect on these trees.
Can she, because she is Oath of Ancients, I don't know if it's possible for her to try and use her channel divinity she uses to create spectral vines. Is there any way that she can try and channel it in a way that can help the existing plants?
I don't know if we've talked about this, but who is the god from whom you are? You can send it to me, DM, if you're
Okay.
uncomfortable saying.
Yeah, we hadn't really narrowed it down because there were a few options, but it is.
Sure.
Let me find on her sheet.
Yeah. I would say that even with that aside, you get the sense that you would probably have a very, very difficult time
Yeah.
trying to materialize your spectral vines.
Yeah. So I guess she'd at least then try and splint any branches or using cloth or bandaging to any broken ones kind of
Yeah, you're
get them
able
back
to
so they can regraft themselves and things like that.
Yeah, you're able to splint a few branches here and there, but some of the trees, you can already see that the tops of the trees with all of the foliage up above are starting to turn almost like a pale yellow in color. The leaves are no longer the sort of deep, lustrous green that the forest has had up to this point. But the trees immediately adjacent, just further into the forest that have been untouched, still have that deep green leaves.
Yeah. Okay.
We had seen mist-colored leaves before, right? Because we'd seen oranges and yellows. Was it in the city? Or was it just outside?
I thought that we saw that the very center of the forest, the leaves seem to be discoloring.
So then that might match with the yellow that we're seeing on top. Well, that Bryn is seeing on top right now. Maybe. As a player, not a character, because Natalie doesn't know this.
I mean, it's pretty easy to see. Every now and again, a leaf kind of drops down from some of these trees that are still standing. And it is a stark contrast considering the picturesque nature of the forest that you saw just a few minutes prior. So it is the sort of thing that you would notice without issue.
Yeah.
I guess we need to make the decision of, do we follow the path or do we follow the line of destruction?
If they're heading to the center, we may as well take the rather disturbingly easier path.
Yeah,
Point, I don't see why not.
exactly. And
find
if we're
whoever did
looking to
this.
find them, yeah, that's the
No.
easiest way to do it.
Now that we know it's heading to the center and not just somewhere else, I think it's best probably to take the shorter path.
Yeah.
If they're so far ahead of us, then yes, probably that's going to be the safest bet.
So
We're at
I would also say that
dusk now?
you
Is that right?
you're very close. So following along the edge of this valley would continue to rotate along the side toward the center. It would probably take you about 2 hours to get to the center. But just judging by your current position and the time that you saved, if you take this path, you could probably get there in about an hour, just before dusk.
How long have we been going?
About 4 hours.
Oh, easy peas. Yeah. We got
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
A potentially weird question. Would I be able to try and get a feeling for whether or not the forest would object to us taking a shortcut?
Make an
It's like
insight
an open
check.
wound kind of thing. I know I've already said we should do it, but okay. That is kind of terrible. +5 insight, 15?
15. You sort of look down the path and you can see that while it's not like the wholesale destruction that this copse has suffered, every now and again you can see these gouges and slashes along the trunks of some of the trees sort of lining this almost like straight line path towards the center. And even from here you can see some of those trees are already starting to turn like a pale yellow. Their branches are starting to leaves are changing color. That said, the path looks relatively clear. You do not see any branches closing in on the path. You do not see any branches growing across the path. In fact, probably about 50 or so feet sort of rising up the side of this valley, you do see that one of the branches that seems to have been sort of growing low across it has been hacked and is just sort of like dangling by just like a bare thread. And every now and again, as the breeze kind of stirs, you can see it sort of spins leisurely.
So we wouldn't really be causing more destruction if we followed this path. It's not like immediately trying to... Okay.
You do not get the sense that following this path would cause additional pain or damage.
Okay. That's good. I don't know why Oriana cares, but for some reason I do.
I mean, we did just put a lot of care
Preservation.
into, not offending the forest just like 2 seconds ago. Makes sense
Also,
to keep that up.
That's true, that's true.
Yeah, and self-preservation, not wanting to wrong a living forest that could be like, you know what? I don't like you. Stab with branches.
Change
Yeah, I think Bryn would just be waiting, like, for as soon as she's done what she can in the clearing, like anything that she can do, she'll just be waiting and will follow. And like, see, like, did you want me to go first again, or I can bring up the rear if we did want as well?
We could stay in the order that we already were, I suppose.
Yes, I'm happy with that. So if you wanted to go first, Natalie, I'll bring up the rear with Arden. It's probably a good idea. Arden could follow behind me to be a bit of a squeeze for him anyway.
At least then, if anything happens, he can catch up a little quicker than the rest of us.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the 5 of you set off down the path.
Mm-hmm.
So Natalie, I will have you make a survival check with advantage
Ooh.
following this path.
Oh, it's not a 20, it's a 19.
Well,
How disappointing. It's 23.
23, yeah. The path seems almost unnaturally straight. It doesn't change for deviations in elevation or small rocky outcroppings. And as you rise up the side of the valley, you sort of emerge back towards a less dense area of the deep wood, and you can sort of look around and assess how close you are. And after about 30 minutes of climbing this ridge, you get a pretty clear view of the deep wood around you, and you can see you're very, very close towards the center. This like central basin. The trees in the center all have this sort of orange and yellow hue towards their leaves, almost as if it's fall specifically in the center of this deep wood. But the path, as you continue to follow along it, you see these boot prints continuing along. You get the sense that there's probably around a dozen in total of these tracks that you are now following. And continuing on, you also can see that the height of these gouges and slashes as whatever these booted individuals did seem to continue along. So every here and there, you'll pass a tree that just has like a long horizontal slash in it, or one that just has a big vertical chunk, or a branch that was sticking a little too far in is just like hacked. But the height that you gather is somewhere only at around 5 feet or so. The tallest damage that you can see doesn't extend above your head, Natalie.
Right.
So you get the sense that it's not like, we're not talking about giants. That's for darn sure.
In fact, probably even talking about like kind of small for a medium creature as well.
Yeah. On the shorter side for a medium creature, definitely. But 45 minutes pass as you descend down the other side of this valley and now arrive at what is immediately apparent is the center of the deep wood. The trees are more and more dense down towards the base of this sort of central, almost like galactic nucleus of the hills nearby. And at first the drop seems kind of sharp down into the center, but you watch as it sort of gradually smoothens out.
Can I just say as well that probably when we get closer to the center, Natalie would change up and kind of like look back at you all to go stealthily once we get closer. Like
Sure.
once we kind of, maybe once we've got past that dip and like we're in the thicker trees.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Hey, look, we can try. That's the main thing, right?
So as you sort of arrive to this like dip, this lip into the center of the deep wood, you can immediately see that it's almost like a crater of some sort. It's just a clear, defined, circular lip all the way around. There are no like, every now and again you'll get a rock that sort of distends it, but there are no trees growing directly adjacent to this lip. So it's almost like an invisible fence or an invisible gap separating the center from the rest of the wood itself. And as you make your in, the ground ahead of you is covered in leaves that are very quickly decaying and mulching. It is largely dry, but every here and there you step in like a puddle and you just get like this wet mulch of yellow and orange and sometimes brown leaves. Aery, as you get into the center, you see that around the trees that are sort of sporadically growing here, a little bit less dense, you see glints of metal in the root base of some of these trees, of something shining. And as you now, the five of you have kind of, as the five of you, one by one, drop over this clearly defined lip into the center, there's a quiet moment as the sounds of the forest are gone. There's just the sounds of your footsteps through the dense leafy undergrowth.
Do we all notice the conspicuous absence of sound?
Yeah.
First, I guess, like, if we're traveling through, like, a series of leaves, can we find any pockets of leaves that maybe look like a trap?
Make a perception check.
Fuck.
Is the destruction still as much here as it has been?
The structure of what?
The destruction, sorry, like all the...
Oh, so here specifically looking at the trees, you don't see a huge number of gouges. Almost as soon as you cross over into the center, the path seems to just stop.
Okay.
Looking at the trees here in the center, you no longer see them.
But the footsteps don't stop, they come straight in?
The footsteps go straight in and continue on down the hill.
Huh.
Can Bryn use divine sense?
Sure.
As an action, you can detect good and evil. Until the end of your next turn, you can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or know the location of celestial fiend undead within 60 feet. That's not behind total cover.
Yes. So there are no celestial fiends or undead within 60 feet. Nothing you can sense appears to have been affected by the Hallow spell.
I rolled a 10.
Let me.
Don't appear to see any traps.
I kind of. I want to crouch down and kind of brush aside the leaf litter. And can I just dig my hand a little bit into the soil and see if there's. I'm looking for life. Are there ants? Is there anything that I would expect to find in a forest? Bugs?
Just digging around, there are not. You kind of clear away a small patch and kind of scrape through some of the dirt. There are no worms. There are no ants. It's actually kind of unnatural because as you dig away down underneath probably about this much density of leaves, the leaves at the bottom aren't decaying as if they've fallen and just stayed there.
This is very wrong.
Was someone already looking at was Aery already investigating the metallic?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say next.
That's what I was gonna say next.
We can look
We
together.
can help each other.
So walking over towards the closest tree, the glints of metal become more and more apparent as embedded in the root structure at the bottom of these trees. You can see half punctured in, some of them bent at awkward angles, silver iron nails embedded into the base of these trees.
That's not good, I don't think.
Actually, I don't know if I know this because I don't know anything about the Fae in D&D, but I, as me in real life, know that the Fae fucking hate iron. Is that something I would maybe know as Oriana?
Make a history check. Because I feel like that's kind of general knowledge about the Fae.
Like reading a book about him or something.
Yeah.
That +4. I know how to maths. 13 + 4 is 17.
17. Yeah. I would say you've roughly heard of it as an urban legend. It's the same thing as silver for a werewolf or garlic for a vampire. It's one of those urban legendy kind of things.
Did they look in any way removable?
Perhaps.
I will relay the fairies and iron thing, just in case.
Looking
Do you
around, how
think-
many of the trees have that in them? Like, as all of the ones that we can see, like in close proximity, or just certain trees?
Looking around, you go to the next tree, you kind of kick away some of the leaves, you find these nails spoked in. Going to the next tree, you find nails spoked in.
Does
Looking
it,
around, you can see nails 20 feet that way. You can see nails another 30 feet that way. It
well,
seems
we
to be as
should-
far as you
We should
see.
remove them. This can't be good for them. I mean, irrespective about the iron, they're living creatures. They wouldn't be wanting to have nails just in them.
does it look like there's any sort of like reaction to the wood around the nails or anything? Or they just, like it's not like festering or
The-
anything?
At an immediate glance, the bark appears more brittle than it did to the trees just up the ridge. The branches appear almost a little thinner, a little gaunt. And aside from the massive volume of leaves that have slowly drifted down, the branches above have like a skeletal appearance of these just fingers of the branches reaching out to create this canopy.
Do you think that whoever came through with all that destruction did it just because they hate this place? Like,
I mean, well,
they just wanted to cause it as much pain as possible?
it's the center of the forest, so I don't know if these trees maybe serve as some kind of sentinels or guardians. I think that, I mean, it's not good. We should remove the nails.
Yeah, we should try
If we
to help
can.
them.
Yeah, I guess with Aery and
Have you considered, though, the trees have been invading a town? We've been attacked by a sentient tree. We've been transported to strange places that seem intended to frighten us. What if this is keeping something back that we don't want?
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
maybe they were
let
trying to
out.
stop it.
Yes, but I don't know. I mean, the town was built on the edge of the forest. It's to the trees. I'm sure it's not invading the town. It's moving through land that was once part of the forest.
Also, I
But,
don't think
you know,
that
with-
tree at the beginning would have helped us if
No.
it was trying to hurt us. I think they're
Yeah.
just.
There's something
I
wrong.
see what you mean, but we'll be here if something bad comes through. At least.
But what if
Hmm.
the people who did this to the trees did it to try and stop the bad things that are happening?
But
We don't know what the good side is here.
I mean, usually nature and plants you don't view as the bad guys.
If you see someone with a sword in their leg, you help the person with the sword in their leg before you ask their intentions.
Oh, I still think we should help, but definitely we should keep in mind that we could be, having a difficult time on the way out of here if things don't go the way we are expecting.
I agree, but I do
I
think it's the
think
right thing
that-
to do.
I think this is a calculated risk that we should take.
going off Emmy's, maybe they put this here to try and stop the forest moving kind of train of thought. Is there any way to? Hello, Lily. Yes. Come on. I'm trying to have a thought. Is there any way to tell, like, if these nails and stuff were, like, recent, like, done by the same people that had been chopping stuff, or if it looks like they've been here for a while?
Make an investigation check.
God, I'm so bad at investigation.
Well, she's saying, oh,
That's a 3.
3, you have no idea.
That makes more sense than me actually being
It's-
able to tell.
It's you do have the thought of like, could this be new? Could this be old? And you go over to investigate looking for like rust or wood chippings or something, some sort of symbol of the recency, but each of the iron nails spiking into these trees, some of them are sort of bent at awkward angles to as if hammered inelegantly, but you see no rust. And judging by the lack of mulch underneath the leaf cover that you saw a moment ago, you get the sense that it probably hasn't rained here in a while. So either these nails are brand new before the most recent rainfall, or sorry, after the most recent rainfall, which has been several weeks, or they've been here for a little bit.
Well, how do you want to try and get them out? It looks
Are
like
they?
Well,
Yeah.
what if
pretty
we-
brittle.
What if we try and one for now? If we're worried about doing the thing, we can try and pry it out, or
Yeah, Bryn will. So if they're protruding at all, she'll try and get some kind of grasp on it, to even, or even like with the blade of her halberd, like if the head of the nails protruding, to try and get some kind of leverage. But if there's spikes that are
Sure.
sticking out, she'll try and grab them and rip them out. If they're like more into the wood.
Yeah, so some of them are haphazard. So you get the sense that these nails are probably about this long in length. Some of them, only half of the nail is about embedded in. Some of them are fully embedded in. And some of them, again, are just barely embedded in and bent at awkward angles. I would say you're on the first tree that you get to, there's 4 nails, and one of them is sort of bent awkwardly, and you are able to get your hand on it and get a good grip. Go ahead and make a strength check for me to pull this nail free.
$22.
22. You take a aggressive pull and then kind of pull the nail free, and you can see sort of like the black layer of dirt that's still sort of at the edge of the nail from where it was embedded into the tree. But as you do pull it free, the tree above you almost seems to shudder for a moment, and some leaves just break free and fall down.
Can Bryn place her hand like on the trunk and in Sylvan say, "It's okay. We're going to get the rest out of you. They're here to help," and then proceed to try and get the rest out.
Sure.
so like Natalie
make
would probably take the other side. If there's 4, you said.
Yeah. So there are 3 remaining. So I'll have you guys make a strength check.
That's not
So
great.
21.
It's a straight
21?
strength
Yep.
check.
Yep.
Sure, it's a 6.
6. Yeah. So Bryn, you're able to work your halberd underneath one, and using one of the roots that are nearby, you kind of start to slowly wedge it out, and it gets to the point where it gets in danger of like bending from how it's coming out. So you sort of have to stop and pivot and almost like twist the nail a little bit to get it straightened before you manage to pull it the rest of the way out. Natalie, you go straight for one of the nails that's like the deepest in, and you can see that part of the root has almost grown up against it a little bit. So you're just unable to get the blade of your weapon underneath the head of the nail. And in the time that it takes to finally wedge your axe underneath it without like chopping the tree, without chopping the root, Bryn has managed to pull out another nail.
If I could get some help with this one.
Oh, yeah. No, some of them are
Sorry.
really in there.
Yep.
And Bryn will help her.
Yeah, make a strength check with advantage. Or both of you make strength checks, or one of you strength with advantage.
I have a +4 on strength. Do
I
you
have
want me to
same,
take a
so
Yeah.
go for advantage.
Alright.
Let's try and get a better roll.
19.
19 is just enough. You are able to extricate a third iron nail from this tree. There is now 1 remaining.
Has there been any further like reactions from the tree since the first one?
It has not moved or done anything.
If you want to take the last one,
Yeah,
Natalie, I'll give you a hand with this one.
sure.
Strength check with advantage.
That's not great. What are my rolls right now? It's 14.
14? I'm afraid 14 is not enough. You managed to get your axe head underneath the head of the nail, but it is embedded in there.
Does anyone have any like tinkerers tools or anything, pliers, anything that's going to be easier to
Not
get
me.
these out.
I don't carry tools.
No,
Exactly.
fair enough.
My best thought was that we could tie some rope around it and all pull, but I don't have any rope.
I have rope. If we want to do that.
I need to check. So I was going to say bless, but this is not.
I have a mess kit. I can pull out like a tiny little knife and just be like.
If we are going to try to play out all of these nails, it's going to take us a very, 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 very long time.
If we
This
can
is true, but
get one.
Get this tree at least.
Yeah.
see if something happens.
Yeah.
Can Bryn try and take over and try and get the last one out, or like,
Sure.
because or both of us just like really work at it for as long as it takes, kind of thing, to get this
Sure,
last one
yeah.
out.
So I would say that with that 14, it probably would take you an additional 5 minutes of working at this one nail, where the others you were able to get out within 20 to 40 seconds. This one takes significantly longer, as it seems to be just in one of the larger roots coming out of the center of the trunk of this tree. But eventually, groaning and sweating, the two of you are able to pull the nail free from the trunk. And once again, the tree kind of almost seems to shudder a little bit, and some more of these yellow orange leaves drift down, showering the rest of you.
Looking at the exit, like the hole that the nail has left, does it just look like a normal, like if you punctured a tree, it's just like normal sap, or does it look, the actual like gouge in the tree, does it look different?
It looks like there was no sap from this particular gouge, from this particular nail. It is a dry exit, a dry wound, I should say.
Which is kind of enough to be concerning in its own right, that it was like almost like a cauterized wound where you remove it and there's just like no
Yeah.
reaction. Okay.
Well, I think you're right, Aery. This is going to take too long with the lack of equipment that we have, unfortunately. So, I mean, I would like to come back through here, if we can, and remove them on our way out. But potentially, whoever we catch up to, if they had the tools to inflict all of this on the trees, maybe they have something that we can use to expedite removing them.
Is there any difference to the tree that we got the nails out of?
Make a nature check.
Oh, that's bad.
First half
That's
great,
7.
second half nah.
Yeah, I rolled a 3, but I have +4 for some reason.
For 7?
Yeah.
So as you look at this tree, sort of trying to evaluate if something has changed, if anything's changed, you hear a branch snap and break about 15 feet behind you.
Who's there?
You turn and look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slowly you turn around and look out. Just trees and the leafy carpet of the floor.
Did anyone else hear that?
Did anyone else do that?
Yeah, I was
I'd
gonna say,
imagine that we would have. I think.
Yeah. The rest of you heard that
Sorry.
as well.
Oh, okay.
I dropped. I literally did not hear that. What?
Just a branch cracking behind us.
But we
Okay.
can't see anyone. I would like to slowly approach. This is a bad idea. Whatever made the noise, like wherever the noise came from.
Mhm.
Just like as unthreateningly as Oriana can be, which isn't much, honestly.
Yeah, you slowly walk, your footsteps loud in the silence of this center wood. You walk
And I'm
to about
going to
15
say-
feet.
Hello?
No response.
Can I see the branch that was snapped? Are there any like footprints or anything?
Make a perception check.
Oh no. Oh, that fell off the table.
Yeet.
Okay. My perception's +2, and that is a 14, so that's a 16.
16 is good. You look down. There are footprints from the booted path that kind of went down towards the center. But now, as you look a little bit more closely, those boot prints kind of crisscross and seem to go in different directions, as if this is now a somewhat more heavily trafficked area by whatever those individuals are or were or wherever they are. You also can see that all of those boot prints are relatively old, about 2 or 3 days or so. That said, you see no sign of a branch or recent footprints here. And as you turn around to tell the group, you also see that the tree that you just pulled the nails out of is no longer there.
Oh. Was everybody else looking at the tree?
I imagine as you walked over, there was a
Been following
moment
you.
where everyone kind of like looked and followed to keep an eye on you. But as you turn to look back at the party, the tree that was just behind the rest of them is gone.
Why are you looking at us like that?
The tree. It's gone?
Which one? There's so many trees here.
Turn around.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god, the tree's gone.
The tree's gone!
Where did it go? It was right here.
Make a perception check.
2.
Nice.
2.
Plus
Excellent.
6. It's an 8.
8. Tough to say.
Do we think that maybe it did its tree thing and
Surely we would have heard it if it walked away. Like, trees are pretty noisy. The bark makes so much noise.
But they did say that the trees just appeared in town, so maybe they
Oh,
use some.
what if this tree just popped up in the city?
We just dropped a tree on top of like
Yeah, they were
Ascat's
trying
just
to-
gotten
they
rid
were
of the
trying
other
to
one.
nail the trees down so they couldn't go anywhere, and we just let it go. And now it's going to be in the city instead.
I mean, but if we eliminate what is causing them to want to leave, we can come back and remove the nails, and they shouldn't want to go anywhere because it would be safe for them again. I mean,
But we
I don't.
still have no proof that we are actually helping.
I mean, look at the trees. Listen to the lack of noise. This is not natural. It's not normal. It's not healthy.
You did say this felt wrong, Emmy.
It feels very wrong, but what if the thing that is wrong is being held here? I just don't want to release something that we don't understand.
But then my
Well,
question
maybe
is,
Yeah, maybe we can catch up to the people that did this. They can tell us why.
I think what Bryn said about fixing the problem, not the effect. If the trees are just going to run from whatever the hell is here anyway, we let them all go, then they're just going to keep running, and we won't fix the problem. If we fix the problem, we can then help these trees, and they won't want to go.
Yeah, I think we gotta try to catch up to the people that did this. Although they could be a long way ahead of us now. It's been days.
it
Isn't
depends
this
what
technically
call
the
it.
center of the forest?
Yeah, but they just keep going.
Yeah, but I think we've reached the center area. I don't know if this is the dead center of the forest. This is the central area.
Did we see paths like the footprints from before? We saw them come to here. We didn't see them leave here.
We saw them continue down the hill.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So the most recent examination of the footprints from the path that you followed to get down into the center sort of continued on in a straight line.
Right.
However, when Oriana looked a little bit more closely, specifically looking for footprints, she found those similar footprints crossing all over this area, but older.
Is there anything where the tree was? Is there like a hole in the ground, or is it just ground that now doesn't have a tree?
So it is that same leaf carpet on the ground that's over there, but there is a single broken branch.
Oh. Wait, like one that just went crack and had been stomped on?
We had that behind us, though, didn't we?
It was, yeah. So the sound came from behind you.
Bullshit.
I would say make an insight check.
Okay.
Natural one. 3.
Plus 5.
These trees, man. Fey bullshit.
Fey bullshit.
I would actually say with an 8, yeah, you probably get an idea. The bark is the same as the tree that was here. It's sort of got like that brittle discoloration. But it's just like a small twig, no bigger than a finger, has just been like cracked.
Okay.
Shall we continue on then?
Yes, I guess we should proceed and see if we can track down what's causing all of this. I do advocate that we should come back and free these trees, but I think if we deal with the problem first...
I am tempted to free a second tree just to see if that one fucks off.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that either. What does everyone else think?
Not all of them, just one more to see what happens.
No.
Yeah, maybe, just we can see if, when it disappears, if it tries to, walk away or whatever.
So can we try and find one that seemingly has the nails mainly kind of like a more haphazardly nailed down one?
Yeah. I would say it probably takes you not that long, maybe 3 or 4 minutes of going from tree to tree to find one that looks easier. And over the span of about 4 minutes or 5 minutes or so, Natalie, you and Bryn are able to extricate from this tree in particular only 3 nails. But again, no sap comes out of the wounds. It's like dry, dirty bark. And you pull out these 3 nails.
Bryn will pat it on the trunk and just be like, okay, we're going to turn around if you want to go. I guess
Aery will
and turn around. We get to give it some privacy.
But if we turn around, then we won't see what happens.
I think it's like a watched kettle never boils kind of thing.
Okay.
You can have a look when we come back and free the rest of them. You can look as much as you want.
Bryn will very actively turn around and just hand on the tree.
Yeah.
Aery will slowly turn around and be like, okay.
Okay. Natalie, Oriana, Eminence?
I had an idea that would be kind of out of character for Oriana, so I won't do it. But I was like, I'd really love, because I got a shield and it's kind of shiny. I'd like to see if I could watch the reflection. But that's not the kind of thought that Oriana would have, and I'm really disappointed in that.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Aery would have a hand mirror, but it's not part of his actual equipment. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just turn around.
So everybody's turning around?
Mm.
Yep.
When everybody does, Eminence would like to turn around with them, but try to crouch down and just touch part of the root system and to keep a hand on the tree without anybody else noticing.
Sure. So you turn around, keeping an eye on the tree, and very slowly and surreptitiously crouch down and place your hand on it.
I guess wait, like it was pretty much instantaneous. Like it was like wait a minute, 30 seconds, a minute, and then turn around again. Because knowing how long, like Oriana, we like looked away for just a second when Oriana walked past and looked back, and the tree was gone, kind of thing.
Yeah. The tree is still there. You can see Eminence holding on to one of the roots.
Oh, Emmy, I don't know if it's going to do it if you're holding on to it.
Maybe it's just dead because it likes us.
Potentially. I mean, did we want to try again without Emmy holding onto one of the roots, or shall we just proceed?
Well, I mean, as soon as we move away, none of us will be touching it,
I mean,
will
we
we?
can always, as we go through, we can always look back and see if it's still there on our way out of the clearing.
It's not much of an experiment if we don't double check that the results are the same.
Yeah. I mean, but again, we can.
I suppose we can move on and turn around.
Yeah.
Is there like a clear indication of a path that we were following? Was it Natalie or Aery like picked up footprints to follow?
Oriana,
Yeah.
I think they were
crisscrossing.
kind of everywhere.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of everywhere. There is no longer one clear, distinct path towards the center of this basin, the lowest elevation point. But you get the sense that it's pretty easy to traverse. You just kind of follow the elevation and get out of the way of the trees.
So we're still heading to the lowest part. So we actually don't think that we're at the center,
Not yet.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Seems to be, yeah.
I'm trying to theater of the mind, and my brain's not theatering.
Yeah. At this point, the sun is starting to dip lower and lower into the horizon. The sky that you could see above is starting to change deeper and deeper shades of color as you can see it sort of projecting across the clouds up above. But as the five of you step downhill, continuing towards the center, who's the first person to glance back at the tree as soon as you get clear of it?
I don't know.
Emmy would probably check pretty quickly because she was very eager to be a part of whatever was going on.
Yeah.
She just wants to help.
I mean, you look back maybe 10 steps down the hill, and it's gone. It's not there.
Sorry.
I'll turn around and relay that to the rest of the party. Well, you were right. As soon as we stop looking.
Well, it didn't like us after all, I suppose.
Does anything.
I like you.
Aery, with your passive perception, you actually... something kind of sticks out as you look back. And it's not from the center, not from the trees that are here, but as you sort of look back up to the rim of the center of this bowl, you can see that there is a new yellow tree amongst the green foliage that wasn't there before.
Is it like moving or anything?
No, it's
or
perfectly static.
just- How far away is it?
I'd say about 60 or so feet.
So some of the trees are disappearing, but I think one maybe just appeared over there. You see the weird yellow tree? I'm pretty sure that wasn't there before.
Maybe that's one of the two trees, because these ones that are nailed down have the autumnal leaves.
I don't know. Should we go look at it?
I think that it's just moving away. I think looking at it, do we recognize it as one of the trees?
It does look very
moving?
similar. Yeah. From 60 feet, you can't tell if it's exactly the same tree, but it does look very similar.
We're just trying to get out of there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame it. It's got probably bad memories of this specific place if you were just nailed down.
Yeah,
and
not
all
very
the
nice. If
places.
someone put nails in my feet, I would not be happy about it at all.
No. I mean, we can check. We know now that they're going to stand out quite a lot, so I guess on the way back we can keep an eye out for
Yeah,
yellow
we see
trees.
them on the way.
I
Yeah,
guess.
think
Is
we can
Arden
go.
getting any vibes? Like, is Arden relaying anything while this is all transpiring, or is he just kind of keep on keeping on?
I'll
Um,
vibe check.
Yeah.
This place is something is off here more so than the rest of the deep wood.
Mm.
If the deep wood was like a 2 out of 10 on like the
General
radio,
vibe.
yeah, the you know those movies where they walk into like a nuclear crash site and they've got like the
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
that sort of thing. Whatever it is, it's much more active here. Like the machine is like popping off for him.
Yeah, I know, buddy. I don't like it either. It's very weird. We'll get to
Oh,
the
this
bottom
place
of
so
this.
spooky.
It's very unnatural, and I don't like it. So I guess we should keep going and see if we can find what's causing it all.
And so, as the 5 of you slowly start to head further down the hill to investigate, that's where we'll end this session.
I feel
As the
sad.
tree just
Yeah.
gets out of
Trees
there.
just peeking out.
Yeah.
And
Our
tree
friends
back,
leave, the trees leave.
yeah.
Absurd.
Feel sad? Why do you feel sad?
Nobody
Everyone's
likes us.
ditching us.
Everybody hates us. Think I'll go and eat some worms.
Even the trees don't want to hang out with us.
Nature doesn't like us.
Yeah, we were trying to be nice to them.
Likes us. Nature likes us. Nature's just really copping a rough one at the moment with whoever's doing this.
Nature maybe owes us a favor now.
True thought.
At least there are 2 trees that probably won't kill us. Hopefully
good
the
luck
other
getting
ones don't
nature to
hold a
pay up.
grudge.
But those trees will go tell their other tree friends, hey, these guys were nice. So then it'll be word of leaf, where it'll just spread amongst the grove, and then they'll all like us.
Through the vine.
Yeah, literally.
Wow.
through the vine.
Yeah. Well, lovely. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. My name is Dom. I've been your dungeon master for this. Why don't we go ahead and say a few words about ourselves before we get ready for our final raid send-off for the evening. Brynjael, you're up first.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for so long. My name is Alishiera. I am a content creator for Legacy Esports. We are doing spooky stuff this week for Halloween week on my Twitch channel. So you can find me at Alishiera on any social media that I have. It's just Alishiera.
Sweet. Eminence.
Hi guys, I've been Nicole. I played Eminence. I don't really do much else on social media on the internet, but I really enjoy this. So I will be back here in 2 weeks as usual to have more fun.
Excellent. Oriana.
Hi, I am Mel Maleficent, and I do grabby hands to say hello. You can find me all over the place on the internet being an idiot. But I will be back on this channel on Tuesday for the book club. And, you know,
Lovely.
in other places. But I love D&D. This is my favorite. This was so much fun. Those cats, I was not expecting them to be quite so
Right?
difficult.
I don't know what you're talking
You're
about.
very
I
welcome.
don't know why. But I was like, oh, this will be easy.
Yeah. And then reality happened.
Mhm.
Yeah, we really fucked ourselves on that one for being like, it's gonna be so easy, no problem.
Well, they tried to eat us, so we just
Awesome.
ate them instead. It was fine.
True.
I'd just like to say real quick, the way you end basically every single episode, the fact that it's 2 weeks
I
before we get to play the next one
No.
is like torturous.
Not
Oh
fair.
boy,
It's
maybe we'll have to
great.
have a discussion about looking for maybe a more consistent game.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, don't tempt us with. Don't you dare.
Game?
Don't you even.
Much to think
You better
about.
not be teasing. You
Yeah.
said that live.
The old tease. The old
Boy.
tease. Yeah.
Someone clip that. We'll send it to him later.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Someone clip that and
We'll
play it on
we'll
repeat.
figure it out. Aery, you're up next.
Hello, I'm Jimioka. I am not doing a lot on the internet at the moment because I have computer problems. But I will also be back on Tuesday for the book club. So hopefully see some of you there. Thank you so much for all the awesome raids and for so many people hanging out with us. It's been really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and Natalie.
Yo. I'm BurrowsRed, who plays Natalie. I have some cool shit going on right now because I've just opened an Etsy shop for RPG stickers. It's pretty neat, pretty cool. I'm going to be working on an Explorers and Adventurers kit set next. And also some cute mimic gifts, which are going to be really fun. But also I stream and stuff. It's all in the panels. If you need to find anything, Kat has done some excellent job. Some excellent job? What is that in it? What? Kat has done an excellent job preparing the panels and also the overlays. Check out those fucking pronouns for our characters. Very cute. And just find out all about us and everyone else and stuff. And I honestly think I'm getting a cold, so my brain is not here.
Amazing. Well, I hope that you get plenty of rest and that you do get an opportunity to take it easy, at least for a couple of days before the next D&D games that will inevitably be coming up. My name is Dom. I've been your dungeon master for the night. If you're interested in finding more stuff that I do, you can find me on Twitter at Dom Romer. I link down in the doobly-doo. There's Dungeons and Dragons, there's music, there's I try not to talk about politics, but as an American, there are 9 days. Vote. Do it. In the meanwhile, thank you so much for watching. This has been so much fun for me and so much fun for all of us involved. If we've been able to make you smile and have a good time, we are happy to have been able to have been a part of your day for at least a few hours or at least just a few minutes, even if you just tuned in. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. And I know this is a Critical Roles thing, but seriously, don't forget to love each other. It's 2020. We are all in this together. We have got to pull through it together. So be nice, play nice, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody. And do we have a raid ready?
Yes, we do have a raid as well. I just want to bring up, before I talk about the raid, for those of you who have just joined, you've missed out on some great stuff. But you can catch up on YouTube. Also on Twitch, because we keep the VODs as well. So, like,
Same brain.
either one, fine. But speaking of raids, we're going to go and say hello to someone who is doing, I don't know exactly what episode they're on, but they're playing a level 11 Blood Hunter in a Wildmount campaign.
Cool.
So we're going to do that.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure they're facing against something that looks like a Tarask, which I'm very concerned about. Hopefully it's just a stand-in. Because
Yeah, we're about to see a TPK.
So
Yeah, boy.
I don't know. Maybe I got my profiles wrong. Profiles? I don't know. I don't have a brain anymore. I'm gonna press OK.
You need to go lie down.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thanks for watching.
Bye. I have to wait for
We're still bye?
We're
Still bye. We're still saying goodbye.
Bye.
We're still saying goodbye. I think they get it at this point. We're still waving.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yes.
Goodbye.